All right, hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? So I'm gonna go ahead and start working on some builds. So yesterday I had the multiplayer stream, a bunch of kinks to work out with some of the equipment. So trying to get the equipment streamlined. So part of that was, doing some testing, trying to make sure everything's working all right. How's it going there, Rasmus? How's it going, Amanda? And how's it going, CG? Good to see you guys. Again, I'm trying to get affiliate on Twitch, so if you guys would follow me on Twitch if you've yet to do so, and if you would watch on Twitch, I need to get I need to average 3 concurrent viewers on Twitch to be able to get affiliate on that. So it's a little public service announcement on that. So let's go ahead. I'll show you what I worked on last night. So worked on the version of the miner that can haul a trailer, and then I worked on a trailer. I've been working on new, updated new T-test system, so we'll go ahead and grab the miner. This one is set up here. This is kind of the version I've been wanting to make. This one has a 5th wheel on it and can haul trailers, so this should help increase the efficiency. I do like the other version for gold, but for some of the other metals it makes more sense to do this. Change up the panels a little bit in here. We have tractor and trailer supply now. As we have a trailer, we have Jake brake and air pressure. That needs to be changed to atmosphere. That needs to be converted so it's actually PSI. Let me make sure we're running here. And then we'll go ahead and we'll do the supply there. Drive forward. I got to unplug something that keeps dinging on and off. There we go. Get rid of that so it stops dinging on and off and we'll be in good shape. All right, good. So there's the miner all set up for this. I've got ABS braking in there. I'm kind of testing this out with the brakes to get this how I want it so that I can put the new T-test system, which will include air brakes on everything. I converted the high-tip 45 into the DT for a dump trailer 45. This will work with this vehicle. And so this is going to be good for modularity, where we can essentially take this, detach the trailer, and then have a truck, either bring it wherever it's going to go. If it's going to go get loaded on the train, it can do that. If the truck's going to take it all the way to the metal ore foundry, it can do that as well. So, all right, so we're hooked up there. Go ahead and we'll jump out. And so now with the new T-test, we're going to also include... it's gonna send the air to the rear tanks like it would IRL. So here's your storage for your light cord, and here's the storage for your air line. You need the air line and the light cord to be able to remove the brakes. You don't really need the air line, but I have that on there. As you can see, we have an air system right here on the trailer. And so now let's go. I have not worked on the lights. The lights are going to be done differently. The old T-test system, the lights used to be part of T-test. They're going to change. It's just going to read the information out. So if you want to hook up your own lighting system, you can. I'm going to get the cat from trying to shut off my PC. All right, so we are having an issue. I'm waiting on the update to see what they do with it. The issue being that supercharging is not working properly, so we're underpowered now for the drill. Still works, but it is less powerful. Thank you there, Feffy J. Appreciate that, Daniel K. All right, so appreciate that. Let's go ahead and so the drills are presently a little bit underpowered, so they still work, but they're slower because of the issues with the supercharging. So hopefully they get that licked. It would be nice if it was today. But as you can see, I got rid of the oscillator for now. I am going to change it. I thought I saved this after I did that. I guess I didn't. So we're spitting coal. I keep editing this old version, and it does not fix it. I must have grabbed the wrong version here. Let me check this version. I did save it. I probably open it up again. Let's see. Where is it? I keep saving this version with no coal in there, and then I end up getting coal. So that was the autosave was wrong. Okay. So I'll probably put an oscillator back on there at some point, but currently I don't. So, okay, this version has the coal out of there. We're spitting coal out because I was doing testing with coal. But the drills are moving much slower now because of the issues with supercharging. So hopefully they get this sorted. You can see they even stall out, and then it has to re-clutch them. So having an issue with that, but that is, I would say, to do with the supercharging not working, essentially. So, you know, we'll have to see what happens when the devs hopefully get to that at some point soon-ish. Because currently it's way underpowered because of that. Some other things I did to this was I fixed reverse. I put a 5th gearbox in there so that reverse is also very low, and that way we're all set for first is the same as reverse. So nice low gearing on reverse. And hello, Daniel. That's yep. So is it Faffy Hay? Is that what it is? Faff Hay. Yeah, so fixed reverse. Reverse is fixed. But the drills will get... I'm going to wait for them to see what they're going to do with supercharging. I would say they're going to do something with it. You know, again, sucks that they put these things out without doing adequate testing, but, you know, that is the way it is. And so just kind of... I'm just going to be patient, not freak out, and not rebuild everything 900 times like some people choose to do. It's working, it's just slower, and hopefully they get that fixed out and it fixes. But I like how this turned out overall. I think this is my favorite version. I knew this was going to probably be my favorite version. Get a bunch of braking stuff I did on this. I'm trying to get that T-Tis tuned in so the new T-Tis can get out. But I like this version. It works pretty well. Let's kind of show some things off on this trailer. So let's see, spout in, grills off, put that up. For right now, I have the controls on here. I haven't come up with a standardized... I do have a standardized system on my trucks for dumping these, but this just makes it easier to put it back here. So, have the trailer dump here. I have to set this up for the actual funnel to dump. I have not set that up yet, but... you can see here we have trailer dump, and then it'll have a funnel here to be able to dump. So that is on there. Let's get a quick pic of this. So that I think will help streamline it. We can get some people on some land vehicles. I might make I want to make a bunch of other equipment. That's one of the cool things kind of embarking on this this goal of doing a bunch of mining is it makes me have to go build a bunch of equipment. So it gives me some excuses to run a bunch of this equipment. So kind of looking forward to that. Let's see. Kind of go through some of the stuff, see what we have. So there's the new DT45 T-Tis Mark II. So that'll be good. So a couple thoughts I had. Let's look at the... So they have these well cars. You know, this is what I move. This is what I use to move some of the containers here. They also can put trailers in these well cars. Let me see if I can find a picture of that. Find that they can use these well cars. Usually there's a fifth wheel right here, and they can actually stick the trailers right on the well cars. So you can find some of these pics here. So like here's one. This is not a well car, but you see they have a fifth wheel that they drag up. It's actually kind of neat. The shifters will have a trailer that has a post and a cable, and they'll hook the cable to here or a strap, and they'll pull them up, and then they just snap the trailer right in the fifth wheels there. So they can also do it in the well cars. I'm trying to see if I can see a well car with it. So that'd be kind of interesting. There's a regular flats. I'm trying to find a well car. I've seen them, you know. I have my own pictures I've taken of them, putting them in well cars. I'll go to that if I can. Let's see, trailer in on well car. Be more specific and see if it comes up. So like here are the well cars, as you can see. This one, does it have a fifth wheel on it? I don't want to open that. Let's open this. That's what mine are. Mine are DTTXs. Usually the fifth wheel's right there, and so you stick them in the well car. Like there's the containers in a well car. Here's the trailer sitting in a well car. That's finally what I was looking for. tiniest picture you could ever imagine and useless to me. Let's see if we can find one I can actually zoom in. Here's regular containers on a well car. But these well cars are neat because what they do is they put the train wheels on either side. That way you can set it lower and you can go under bridges with them doubled up. Trying to see if I can find trailers in well cars. Here's a well car that is, it's kind of open sides there. You can see how they sit in the wells. Not a lot of pictures. I'll see if I can find one of my own pictures of the trailers in the well cars. But they're kind of neat because they just put the fifth wheel right in the well. I'll try to see if I can find one. But this is how they load them. They use, they got a bunch of different machines. They use these straddle cranes is what I'm used to seeing them use. But so one thought is loading the trailers onto the train and then using a truck. I also still have the stuff from when I was doing the road railer, so that I could bring that back too. So I'm trying to keep the sub body counts down. The sub bodies are kind of rough with you know, more sub bodies, the more likely it is we're going to have problems or a slowdown, or any slowdown is going to be exacerbated by the fact that I have 90 million pieces to each train. So like one thought I had done before, which could kind of be interesting, is make a crane car for the train, and so the crane car would slide in on another track, and it would actually crane some of the equipment on and off of the train. I'm just trying to see if I can find some of my own pictures of these in the well cars here. Trying to get down to the year where I could find it. Let me see. There we go. Starting to find some of these. So, I've not spent too much time at the rail in a few years, so try to see if I can find something with the train. Usually I have quite a few pictures of this train stuff because it's interesting them loading stuff on the train. But I do not see any pictures readily available here of stuff on the train, so we'll move on from there. But so we'll probably do is put a fifth wheel, and I might make a car that's purpose-built for this that can, you know, and then we'll take a tractor with us, and the tractor will actually move them. So that's another thought. So I want to do a bunch of different, like we talked about this yesterday, I love to do a bunch of different methods so that, for example, we do gold differently than we do iron, that we do differently than aluminum. And that way, you know, it really makes it so that you, you know, each method feels kind of special. You know, that'd be kind of cool. Let's catch up on chat, huh? It's always nice when you find some chocolate that you didn't know was there. I haven't had chocolate in a while. I don't eat that much chocolate, and I kind of would be nice to have. All right, let's see. What's this message? Yes, actually, I just got a message from Rasmus talking about a road railer. I have built a road railer. So, we actually used to get the road railers. Let me see if I can... I have pictures somewhere. Again, in my pictures, just going through them. I don't know where exactly they are, but I'll bring up road railer. So road railers, I actually made one last year. Road railers are kind of interesting. I have all the equipment. I'll bring up the equipment that I made. So, like, here are road rails, and so what they do is they have just this truck for the train, the wheel sets, and they hook it to the back of a trailer, and so you end up connecting to the front of this trailer and the rear of this trailer, and they put the train bogies on there, and as you can see, they just pull the trailers with the train. The problem is the trailers have to be much more robust, and they end up rotting out, and then they can't be used for road railing, but they can still be used on the road. And so we actually used to get these. They would lease them, and they were the biggest pieces of shit, and they were all rusted out. But you can see, like, here is the you know, here's the connection point in the rear of the trailer. And so, like, we used to get these trailers, these road railers, and the bumpers had to be hydraulic and tip up. And so, like, they were just rusty pieces of shit. And I actually have some road railer stuff. The other thing I was thinking of doing is doing some more stuff like this, where I could put them on there. Like here's road railer there. Let's go ahead and I'll show you my road railer stuff, and I actually can kind of show you how it works. Let's see, road railer, road. All right, so here are the road railers. So here is the road railer bogey backup. So that's the road railer bogey right there. Here's a road railer right here. So like the way we would load this is you would grab the road railer bogey. Let me check the tracks. I gotta get this aligned to the tracks. All right, so you take one of these bogies like this, and then you would grab the road railer trailer. And here's the road railer new lift mechanism. Grab that. So here's a road railer. So this is already built as well. This will, this would need to be upgraded to TTIS Mark II, but that will work. And then you would grab the rear road railer bogey. Same bogey. You just put it on the rear. And so this goes like that. And so this is all set up here to work as a road railer. And then let's see, we have lift. Brake release. Brake release. And so this is my road railer setup here. So this would be, this is something else we could theoretically use, as you can see. So these just load right in the train. So kind of a neat system. This works well. But that's the road railer that I already have. So, and this works really well. It hooks up to the train normally. And so you can use as many of these as necessary. Yeah, I think a rail crane would be a good addition. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things I was thinking, so. Yeah, a bunch of different things that can be built, but these road railers are pretty cool. I might go back into using these. This has the old, dump system. I don't know how I'm gonna do the dump systems, because like this one's cool. Is often what you'll do is you'll rev up the engine, and there's a hydraulic pump that will then pump the hydraulic fluid into the trailer. I'm trying to remember how this. So that's how this dumps. You have to open the dump valve. So this is the road railer 45. So that's something else that could be used. I want to upgrade this to TTIS 2 once TTIS 2 is done. But that's an option as well. The other thing is doing an overloader trailer. We might build that today. Having an overloader will be helpful to do that. So a bunch of cool stuff that we can do here. When I do aluminum, Australia does a lot of aluminum mining, and so I'd like to get into road trains for that. That would be kind of fun to do some road train stuff. So a bunch of different options on what we can do. Do we have an update yet? I still think we do not have an update. We got the update late last Wednesday. I tend to think that when they put out a late update, they're kind of working on something. They did that last time. I think they're probably working up to the last second. That's probably why the update had a bunch of stuff that was not done correctly and had issues. There's game update. Good, it just came out. All right. Yep, I thought they would put a picture of York, so they got York's picture up here. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll go over this. I'll record it for the update video. So I'm just going to mute out the musica. And we'll go ahead and we'll record up the update. And we'll see what they did. And welcome back to the weekly update video. This is for March 20th, 2024. Upcoming fixes, reworks, and Discord gamification. And the first screenshot is by. All right, that is by York. There's a good picture by York on there, so let's find that. Right there, bingo, that's easy. York. That's not the right picture. It's up here. No, that was his post. He did post that picture. I know it's York's, but he was responding to somebody, but he responded with that picture. So that'll work. All right, good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Dear Stormworkers, it's announcement week. Next week, we will release a minor update with several important fixes and reworks. That's good to see. In the coming months, we have minor updates planned every other week as usual, as well as the next major update in development and testing, but still a couple months away. Over on the Stormworks Discord server, we have been working on the meta gamification, and our stormworks bot now gives a variety of roles automatically to players based on playtime and workshop subscriber count. And the next screenshot is by. Was that an Archer Dude 11? Let's see. Let us see. I thought I saw that picture. Let me see. Where are you at? Right there. Archer Dude 11. How did I know? Archer Dude 11. All right. Oh, look at sales. Lovely. None of my pictures in there. Let's see. Users who have associated their Steam account with their Discord account by using the /verify command in our Discord server can now check their playtime and subscriber count using the /stats command. The bot will update your stats every couple of weeks and give out the Stormworker role to players with 1,000 hours playtime. Other roles are available for 2, 4, and 8,000 hours, and creators also get various creator roles for 25, 100,000, 500,000, 1 million subscribers on the workshop. There are some huge numbers here, with Sebastian holding the top creator role, with several others are very close to hitting the 1 million mark. The kind of numbers that many creators are achieving is truly remarkable, and many having more subscribers than copies sold of the game. And the next screenshot is by. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. Sailing vessels right there. Look at that. All right. What is it? Unparalleled innocence. Okay. Unparalleled innocence. All right, good. While we are enjoying rewarding players for their achievements, it is just a bit of fun and a side project to the main focus of development. However, if you have ideas on how you would like to see us improve these meta game elements, please let us know. Catch you next week for the update. Much love, Stormworks developers. And we'll see you next week for the next update. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week for the next update. All right, good. So that's recorded. Let's go ahead and see here. Let's see. Bitch about all the stuff that's still broken, I bet. That will come. Yep, see whiny bitch fest there. I get it, guys. Stuff's broken. You know, they're working on fixes. They say next week will be fixes. Relax, people. Jesus Christ. You know, some of these people, they put their hair on fire. Like I just said, one of my builds is not working correctly because of it. It's like, relax, people. You know, things are going to break. You know, we got to give them room to tinker. And when you tinker with things, things are going to break. It's like, you know, I'm currently ripping apart T-TIS and completely redoing T-TIS, and I keep breaking things, and I have to fix them. And I break things, and it's how you make things better is you have to rip them apart and break and put them back together. It's like anytime, you know, you're going to remodel your house. What do you have to do? You have to tear everything apart. It's a pain in the ass. The sink isn't working. You know, you can't cook in your kitchen. But at the end of it, you know, things hopefully work better. And that's what we're hoping here. And yeah, shit's going to get broken. But, you know, I already know what's going to happen. It's going to be whiny bitch fest about you guys suck. Fix the forced induction. We all get it. Fill out a bug report. You know, for a search, support a bug report. We'll go into some of the bug reports. We'll see what's going on now. As you can imagine, they've made some changes to modular engine. Steam, I think, is pretty much ironed out at this point. There are a couple changes, little things that are different, but for the most part, like, you can get Steam working pretty well. But you know, just being a pain in the ass is not. You know, I know some people think that if they're just a pain in the ass, somehow that will endear themselves to the devs, and they'll go do what they want. It's like being a pain in the ass does not help with anything. It just tires everybody out. It's better to, like, you don't have to be like super sweet every second of your life, but you know, and you don't have to not criticize them for the things they do wrong. But it's like, just have a reasonable understanding that there's 4 people. They're gonna screw things up. It's with the hope to make the game better. Like, some people think they're torpedoing the game on purpose. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's like, they're humans. They make errors. There's not a lot of them. They're trying to work on multiple things at once, and inevitably they're going to screw it up. And since we're the engineers here that build the builds, Some people do some stuff that is very mainstream and realistic and how it should be done. Some people do some weird shit that, like, why would you ever build it like that? And so they're never going to be able to make a change and have everybody's builds work. It's not going to happen. Like, some people build in some really weird ways. Some people do a tinker method where they just, like, they keep tweaking a number till it works. Well, the problem is, as soon as they make a change to air values, fuel values, your build no longer works. And if you've been tinkering and that's how you fix every one of your builds, is you just keep tweaking a number till it works, likely when they change a number, stuff's not going to work. And so some people like myself, like most of our modular engines, they automatically adjust AFR. So if they change a fuel value, it doesn't really change things too much, you know. And so you got some people who all their builds are broken, some people all their builds are working, and so we kind of got to just chill out and they'll eventually fix it. You know, some, like, you know, Daniel's saying, you know, you would think that they'd learn how to fixing problems works with this game. You know, it's I agree. You know, it's like this stuff happens. You kind of have to chill out. Could the devs do a better job of, like, putting it on a test branch? Absolutely. Like, if they're gonna make an engine, like, if I were them, this is what I would do. I would come up with a rule. If we're gonna change modular engines, Steam, anything that is part of power production, we need to do 1 week in a beta test branch. I think that's what they need to do. We're going to open up the beta test branch for this week to test out new changes to Steam, Diesel modulars. So, like, essentially what they put out last week, they should have done a week in beta test branch. I think that would have gone miles, because guess what? If you sign up for betas in Steam and your game breaks, it's on you. You've selected that you wanted betas. And then, so it's completely on you when you sign up for a test branch. And then they would have got the information from a bunch of us who know what we're doing, that been like, you know, you can no longer choke the air on furnaces. Okay, they fixed that in a bug in a what do you call, hot fix on the Thursday last week, and then on Sunday they came out with another hot fix to fix some more stuff. If they did that in beta, it would look a lot better for the devs. I think they shoot themselves in the foot a lot here by just calling it beta in that test branch and putting out only on beta for a week. Then they completely cover their ass. They'd be like, hey, why do you know, if you didn't want to test out a beta, why are you in beta? And then what they do is, after a week or two, they get all the bugs fixed. They brought it back to test branch. Test branch has said, yep, this is working, this is good. Then they put it out in the major. You're still going to get people bitching who, like, do not want to change anything, who don't understand. The game's complicated, so some people just, they don't understand the mechanics. And so when you change something, it was a lot of effort on their part. It took a lot of work for them to get something working in the first place. And then you change something, it's devastating. For example, it within 5 minutes, I have my Steam stuff working after the update. Because, you know, I have enough of an understanding about this, like, I quickly checked, okay, my furnace is running too hot. Why would my furnace be running too hot? Too much air, too much fuel. Okay, yep, it's an air problem. Okay, I can't modulate air anymore. Okay, I have to modulate fuel to maintain temperature. So within 5 minutes, I had it fixed. But you have some people who don't have a good mechanical sense and can't easily come up with these solutions. So it's ultra frustrating for them. I get it. And so by doing a little bit of a beta test branch, I think that would go a long way for the devs to you know, not have to deal with some of this bullshit and not put out releases that are not where they should be, frankly. You know, I think they need to take a little bit of ownership of this and cover their ass a little bit and help us help them, essentially, which is what I would say to them. Yeah. So let's look here. Trying to see if any interesting bug reports lately. Like, I see a lot of bitching on the in the comments, but I really, like, I'm looking here. I'm looking for the supercharging one here, because, like, that would be the big one that a lot of people are having problems with right now. You know, that should be addressed. And so, like, you know, it's probably in here somewhere. It was, you know, we're up to 4 days ago, so it was a week that the last one came out. So there's probably something in here, but, like, that's the big one. Like, this one, I supported this one. You can see this was the one that was talking about how you can use you know, essentially the air was, once you opened the air valve for your furnaces, even closing them was not causing a restriction of air. So it's essentially giving you infinite air in there, and that was causing temperatures to go out of control unless you controlled your fuel. And so that one, I concurred with that, and you know, they fixed that in 1.10.7, which I believe was the Sunday update. So again, that was a good a good one in there. Let's see. Like this one, like this is useless. Like this is a useless post. I don't know why people think this is helpful. Like it says, was working on a plane with module engine last night. Load up today, the new update, and is no longer working. That is like completely useless. And so like the devs said, thank you report. You know, they're happy to look at any with clear and simple engine examples. And then it needs a response in 4 days. This person likely is not going to respond, and it's going to get closed, and then they'll likely complain that, oh my God, they just closed it. You know, no, they asked you for your build. So, like, if you guys are going to put in a bug report, you know, explain what was going on. Like, for example, if I were to explain the issue that I'm having currently with the miner, you know, I'd say, I've been working on this mining vehicle for 2 weeks. I use a modular engine that uses an impeller-driven supercharger. The impeller will run up to the same RPS as the engine, which is 20. The impeller normally moves X number of liters per second, say 194 liters per second of air. After Wednesday, X dates update, the you know, I have a 20% reduction in power. And, you know, if you look at the air intake is intaking less air than it used to. It used to intake this much air, liters per second. Now, after Wednesday's update, it is intaking this much liters per second. Here is a link to the build. All right, that is how you do this so that the dev can open it, check it, and see that, yep, supercharged. Like, if you guys remember, it was a couple days ago, I did this, it was during one of the Career Build Series lives. I brought out a bunch of engines. I put different types of supercharging on there and are normally aspirated, and they were all running the exact same except for their type of induction. And you could see that anything except the large pump was not getting a forced induction boost. And so if I sent that to the devs, they can actually test it out and realize, yep, look, this one's normally aspirated. This one has a small pump. This one has an impeller. This one has a large pump. The only one that is getting a boost is the large pump. So that's something the devs can use to actually figure out what the hell is wrong. If you know, those kind of like little updates are completely, or those kind of like things are just, that's what wastes time. Like some people are complaining when they got put on low priority on their bug reports. Like, that's when you should absolutely be put on low priority, is you put in a bug report that had no information, it's pretty useless, and then they ask for a build, you'd never reply, and it's going to get closed due to inactivity, and then eventually you get put on low priority because you constantly put out inactive stuff. And if we look here, I've got modular engine not working, created by Fiddle Rules, and then the same day, I have Module Engines Not Working by Dark Games 1951. So, like, this person should not have started a new post. They should have supported this post. And that's another reason why people get put on low priority, is they just duplicate. Look, that's useless. How the hell are they supposed to come up with a solution when you say, oh, my engine's just not working anymore? Like, really? Like what are you going to do? Like, how the hell are they supposed to tell how you built your engine when you've given them no information? You know, I can imagine that's incredibly frustrating, and those should be put low priority. That is like, that's useless. Like, you know, at least if you give a copy of the build, they can go in there and they can try to take a look at it, you know? But like these, like those, they don't tell any. Like, here's a little bit better one. It's talking about forced induction. This one seems like this is the main post here. Despite adjusting ECU to account for the 10.5 custom engine bug, engine still acts as normally aspirated despite having 500 liters. Now, look at all the duplicates. So this is why I'm a big fan of not duplicating. Search, star the ones that are now the primary. This is the primary one now. You can see all the duplicates. The devs have consolidated this. Bring the game mechanics back. Okay, that's a useless thing. So again, they're asking for an example, and then you have some people putting examples. You know, there we go. You know, so we have some stuff here. People actually putting builds. This is how you get things fixed. Is give them some examples, and if you want your build fixed, put a copy of your build so that they say, oh, this is how some people are doing it. We'll fix that thing that breaks on those people's builds. You know. Engine's having trouble from update. It's like this, again, I understand the sentiment here, but this is pretty useless again. Says, seems that fireboxes are nerfed and engines are having trouble working. You're not giving them any information. They can't fix it. It's like if you went into the doctor and you said, I'm not feeling well. And the doctor says, well, what do you mean? Like, what's wrong? And they go, I'm just not feeling well. And they go, yeah, but I need to know what your symptoms are. And they go, yeah, I'm not feeling well. That's my symptom. And so, no. You need to say that my leg hurts. It hurts here, and it hurts, because I fell down the stairs. That's what you need to do. But the more information you give them, the greater the chance that something's actually going to get fixed. But that's kind of one of my pet peeves. That's why I'm even going over it, is just kind of, it clutters it up, and it makes it so that there's no way in hell they can fix anything from there. But we will see what happens next week in the bug fixes. How's it going there, Alistair? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, let's go ahead and let's check on... I'm going to grab this version of the build here. I'll go get this started, and I'll see if try to work out some more of the kinks on this. But so, a bunch of cool stuff that I want to do to try to get, all the mining equipment up to spec to where it needs to be. So, got T-Test Mark II in here. I'm trying to come up with, so what I used to do is, like, the way a lot of these trailers work IRL is you have a PTO-driven hydraulic pump, and you hook up hydraulic lines to the trailer. And then when you rev your engine and you open the valve, now the hydraulic pump, because it's PTO driven, the might reverse. Okay, there we go. You notice the reverse is nice now. When you open the valve and you I dropped it on its knees. All right, let's go fix that. And when you close the valve and you start to, God damn it. If I could finish my sentence, that'd be fucking great. When you open the valve and you rev the engine, it will allow the oil to go through into the hydraulic cylinder that allows the trailer to go up. So I have that simulated on some of my builds. I need to come up with a standardized system to run that. So I haven't decided. It adds a bunch of stuff that I need to do. I'm off here. I will admit that I have broken airlines doing that before. They don't pull for very long before they snap. The glad hands are designed to detach pretty easily. I need to get rid of those lines here. I've seen people do this too, get stuck under the fifth wheel. I've had to pull people out who've gotten stuck under the fifth wheel before. It's always a big to-do. These things happen IRL. Okay. Get out from under this thing. We'll test this a little bit. Again, I'm having the issue that other people are having with superchargers not working correctly. It's causing problems with this build. Hopefully they come up with a solution reasonably quick. It sounds like next week is going to be a fixes week with a minor update. I'm curious to see what the minor update is. And we'll see what they do for fixes, but yeah, we just kind of got to wait on that. So I'm thinking I might do is, I don't know, I don't want to run RPS through the cable. I don't know. I'm trying to decide how I want to do it because I have to send more information through the light cord if I do RPS driven, the landing gear up. But this is, we're having drill problems because of that lack of superchargers now, so we'll see what happens. You know, we'll see if they do another hot fix. They did a hot fix last Thursday and this last Sunday. But probably, I'm thinking they'll probably hold off till next week, but who knows. You know, they got to figure out what's wrong with it, too. It would be nice if they would be like, you know, acknowledge it. They acknowledge it in the bug tracker. It would be nice if they just acknowledge it there as well. Yeah, I think that would be helpful. Okay, let me see. Homunculi on the seat there. But yeah, the drills were up around, I think they're up around 1 RPS. They're down to, you see it's low and it's dropping. So that has caused the, you know, that's really caused this to decrease in power because of the lack of supercharging right now. So hopefully they fix it. Yeah, it's kind of tough. Tough until they do, but be nice if they were kind of like, hey, we think it's this problem and we're working on it, you know. But they don't do that. It would be kind of be another thing I think they could do that would kind of quell the community a little bit. There have been kind of some silly bullshit posts about people like thinking they've been doing this on purpose. It's like, dude, this is how they feed the family. They're not doing the shit on purpose to just screw around with shit. And, you know, they're making honest mistakes. They're not doing some of the stuff they should be doing, but you know, they want the game to succeed. They just you know, screw up now and again like we all do. Let's put that there. Okay, that is painted in now. That's good. All right, let's go ahead and all right, so I think that was one of the big caboose fixes I needed. So you'll be able to look out the window on this end and, you know, run the train. You can sit in the seat if you want, or look at the monitor, or look out this window and stand in the doorway. And then on this side, like, you're not going to be, you can use the camera. The camera faces forward, and you can look out this direction. So the camera's for looking, if you're going to go backward. Or if you're going regular and then backward, you can look out the windows. So let's kind of set that up. See, where's caboose? All right, good. So let's see what else we need to do here. All right, guys, if you do me a favor, if you're watching and you also can sign into Twitch, if you want, you can just go to the tab on Chrome, right-click, and mute the site. That helps me. I'm trying to get to, I need an average viewers of 3 concurrent viewers to get affiliate on Twitch. And so I need to get that number up because it does it off average. So get a couple banger days. That's going to really help to get that done. But you'll notice that the RPS will drop, the clutch will disengage, and they'll go back up. That's because the power's been dropped because of the lack of supercharging. But this is working pretty well. I took the agitator off for now. I like it, but when we turn too much, it's going to kick most of the shit out. So this actually works really well. This has a 2250 capacity. The coal containers, the mineral containers that I made, those had 729. So this has quite a bit larger capacity on this trailer. Curious how heavy this trailer is going to be. Kind of take a look at it. Because if we're going to try to crane this onto the train, I think road rail is probably the best way to deal with those. Let's see what that weighs. You weigh what? You weigh 3713, so it's pretty heavy, but not that bad. Let me read some chat. We have chain couplers on trains here in Sweden once they forgot to hook up the engine coupler to the first. Oh, interesting, yeah. How's it going there, X-Horus? How are you? Yeah, that's... Some of that train stuff's crazy. Just like the weight, the mass of the trains. So, like, the road railer works fine. I'm trying to decide how to do the dump here. Let's go ahead and see. I want to come up with a standardized dump system. So here, like, if we look at the Mac. The Mac, where is it? This one. The Mac R. So the way the Mac R works for dumping trailers is you come in here. Right here you have the dump body, gear and neutral, switch on, and accelerate, or rev the engine up, essentially. So you need to go, click that on. You need to put it in neutral and then rev it up, and it will tip the trailer. So that's how a lot of them work IRL. So like, here we go. I'll show you. So essentially you have a PTO-driven hydraulic pump with lines, and it will pump things. I might go a little bit crazy with some of these dump trailers and use pneumatics. That would be kind of interesting, or even water. Water would be interesting. Let's see if we can do a hydraulic system. That would be kind of interesting, actually. And then I could put electric pumps on some of the trailers, so we could do that. So, like, here's the, let's see, do the road railer. Here's the road railer 45. Let's go ahead and spawn that. I'll show you how the mechanism works. So I'm in reverse 2. I want to be in reverse 1. All right. All right, so you want to go in neutral. So there's neutral. But click on your valve, and you start to rev the engine up. And the faster you rev the engine, the faster it goes up. So that's how this trailer works. And then when you want to go down, so like think of it this way. I'll do a quick picture. Hydraulics are very interesting. I'd love to see them do a hydraulic update. I'll maybe sometime I'll do a video on that and see if they're interested in that, because a lot of the mechanics are in, like, somebody who's a good builder was talking the other day. They're like, oh, there's nothing on I don't think pressure added anything cool, and I fundamentally disagree. I think it added a lot of fundamental elements that can be cool. I know some of the stuff is not there certainly yet, but it does lay a framework that could expand the game, and sometimes you need to do that. Sometimes you lay a framework and it never gets expanded upon again. Sometimes you lay a framework and then it can be expanded upon later. So, like, the way a hydraulic cylinder works is, try to get this layered out correctly here, and then I'll move on from we'll kind of do this. Okay, I got to do all these in the correct layers. All right, so let's see. I already screwed up here. Let's do this. Let's go, let's go another layer. Let's go, I don't know, 10. 20. All right, so here's your hydraulic cylinder right there. And then what we want to do is we're going to put a plunger in. And so I need to go on another layer. I'm going to build a plunger. So let's do, I don't know. I think the colors I want to do here. All right, so then we build the plunger. Let's see. A little bit smaller. And let's see, what do we want to do there? So I'll just put a circle for the where you would the not really a bearing, like the pivot point. So put a circle there for the pivot point, like so. All right, good. And then so what you would do is you take this, and so this slots in here. And so the way that hydraulic cylinder works, I don't know why I made it so fucking long. There we go. All right, so there's the hydraulic cylinder with the pivot point on the end. All right, so the way this works is pretty simple. Is you have a couple ports. All right, and so the ports go in here. Let's do it on another layer here. So you have a port here. Go square. All right, so you have a port here, and you have valves. There's a valve here, and there's a valve up front. All right. And so then what you do is you start to fill this with hydraulic fluid. And so let's say I want my cylinder to go backwards. So let's say it's hooked to the arm of an excavator. I want my cylinder to go backwards. So what I do here is I start filling the front here with hydraulic fluid. As I fill the front with the hydraulic fluid, it's going to push against that plate on the back of the cylinder and draw the cylinder in. Now this is all scaled, fucked up, but all right, so that's all the way in. And so once it gets all the way in, you're going to be hitting the top of the cylinder. You're going to be hitting the back wall of the cylinder generally. And you can't get any more hydraulic fluid in because what's going to happen is you also have bypass valves. And so as this comes in, once it hits a certain PSI, there's a little valve here. It's a spring-held valve. As soon as the pressure exceeds the maximum pressure of the spring, it overcomes the spring and the hydraulic fluid bypasses back to the sump. And so like if once you hit the stop, you go and you hit the stops, it's going to bypass the hydraulic fluid and no more pressure is going to go in there. Then if you want to push the cylinder out, what you do is you pump the hydraulic fluid in here. So it's literally just a valve that goes to the back or goes to the front. That's it. Front, back, front, back. And so then the hydraulic fluid will bypass this section here and it'll go to the back. It will fill this up and this will start to push the rod forward. And all this oil gets pushed the opposite direction through here and back to the sump. So it goes, that gets pushed out, and then it goes to there. And so you just push the oil either in front or the rear of the piston. So that's how the hydraulics work. So what you'll often have on some of these trucks is you'll have a PTO-driven hydraulic pump. And so it just spins. It has gears in there that move the hydraulic fluid forward, and then you use valves to either let it go in the front or the rear of the cylinder. So like, for a dump truck, often what they do is they do gravity drop. And so you'll have a valve, and that valve will allow the oil to go in the rear. So you open the valve, you rev up the engine, it lets oil come in the rear of the cylinder here, pushing the hydraulic piston out, raising the trailer. And then when you want to drop it, instead of having a piston on the front here, a lot of them you can't power down. So what you end up doing is you just open the valve, and that lets the hydraulic oil go out back to the sump. And so now the mass of the trailer is pushing on this. And so the actual mass and gravity will push the cylinder back down, which pushes the oil out. So kind of neat there. That's how the hydraulics work. So I try to simulate that. So like when I want to drop this, I don't power it down. That's like me opening the hydraulic valve, and the weight of the trailer will push the cylinders down. So that's how I currently have it working. I might work on a new system. Would be kind of cool. So let's see how I have that working now on this. That's the thing is like, so say for example, this is a good little analogy to like how the devs screw these things up, and why I kind of give them a little bit of leeway, and why I talk about like it's important that we give them the room they need to tinker. And in the effort of tinkering and trying to make things better, they are going to break things on occasion. And right now, this system works, but it's not working as well as I'd like. So I want to break this system, and I want to make it better. Now, I'm going to have to break a bunch of builds, and I'm going to have to go back, and I'm going to have to fix a bunch of builds. But at the end of the day, it's going to be better because I did this. And so that's kind of why, I think it's important to give them a little space on some of these things, because at the end of the day, hopefully these things are better. And, we see improvements. Let's see where the hell this goes to. You see what the dump valve is. It is 7. Okay. Let's see. Is it on TTIS? I don't know. this is old TTIS. So I think what I'll do is put this into TTIS. Because I'm trying to make kind of a universal system here, so... I don't know. I might... You know what I'm going to probably do? Let's make it a separate utility. I'm trying not to put too much gunk in TTIS, and so what I'm trying to do is, whenever I have a hydraulic dump system, I want to either have it... So there's a couple ways you could do the hydraulic dump system. See if I can get some diagrams. I've used a bunch of these, because I've done a bunch of different, you know, bunch of different type of dump truck stuff. So, like, let's see, hydraulic, let's see, Class B, hydraulic dump system diagram. All right, so here's the hydraulic dump system for a couple different trucks, so we can work with this. This one has Chinese characters. Hopefully I can figure it out. Like this one, it's mostly showing a hydraulic diagram on flows. So you essentially go through some of the componentry here. Here is the bracket going to the front of the trailer. So this will be on the dump body. This attaches to the dump body. This is on the bed. Here's your hydraulic cylinder. Here's your valve. You notice we have one valve on this system, okay? We don't need two valves. We're not powering the system down. We're just powering the system up. And actually, this one does have one on either end. Let me see. It could have a separate sump on there. So I think this has a separate system going to the sump. Trying to see. Nope, it does not have a top. It's just bottom driven. Okay, good. So right here, it's just bottom driven. So if you look at this, this is your hydraulic sump right here. This thing here is the same as this thing. And so if you look here, this is the hydraulic line. So it's single hydraulic line right here. And so here is where it fills with oil. You can see there's like a washer. There's a different constriction there. Another washer, bunch of different components for that. So you're coming through here. You're going to, this looks like a steel tube for turning the corner. Then you have hydraulic line coming back. It goes into a bunch of washers here that goes onto the top of the sump. And then I'm trying to see where, so this looks like the pump right here. Yeah, this is the pump right here. So that's your hydraulic pump. Probably electric-driven hydraulic pump, it looks like. It does. And then this is going out. Where are you going? Okay, no, this looks like the hydraulic pump right here. That looks like the pump right there. That looks like, yeah, that looks like an engine-driven hydraulic pump right here. And so you notice you have the hydraulic oil goes this way to and from the cylinder. And then you have this goes back to the sump. So this will pump oil, looks like this direction. So the sump is full of oil. The oil comes down here, through the engine-driven hydraulic pump. Comes up here, it goes into this fitting, and then it goes into here, which will send the oil this direction through the handle. This is the handle that controls it. So it has to go through the handle, and you manually meter the oil. The oil comes back through the system, through here, through this line, into the cylinder. Fills the cylinder up with oil, pushes the trailer up. Then you'll change this to open the valve, and then the oil can come back flow through. And it looks like, does it bypass to the sump? Where's the bypass? I can't see the bypass on that one. So that's one of the systems. So that's like that. There is an engine-driven system. You also will have electric-driven systems. So I'm trying to see if I can find one. Like these are likely electric-driven if they have a little doghouse on them. I'm trying to see if there's a doghouse. So right here, this big text has a doghouse on it. So if you look right here, it has this container. Likely there's a 12-volt battery in there and an electric pump. And so you'd have electric-driven hydraulic pump. And so what you would do is you go to the back of the trailer, you'd push a button. Usually it's sticking out on the doghouse, and then it will actuate the hydraulic cylinder. Let's see. Here is a hydraulic system for an excavator. Kind of interesting to go through there. You quickly just do something in Steam here. Everything keeps popping up. I'm just going to quickly change that so don't get constant pop-ups here. All right, there we go. So this is like a hydraulic system on an excavator. Is the engine system. Here's the hydraulic. Okay, this is just talking about losses in the system. That's not an actual diagram that I want. Here's a basic hydraulic dump system here. It's very basic on this chart. Hydraulic-driven pump here, or engine-driven pump likely here. Oil comes out of the sump, goes through the pump, comes down here. It goes into this side of the cylinder. Then it will backflow, and it will go back to the sump on that one. So kind of a simple system there. A little bit, there's a better diagram, kind of like the same as the other one on a dump body here. So this could either be electric or engine driven. It's dependent upon what you want. Like some of them I've had have been electric, and some of them I've had have been engine driven, where you close the valve, which now allows or you close a PTO connection, then you rev up the engine of the truck in neutral. It will spin the pump and pump it through. Or you have an electric system where you push the button and it will use the batteries to do it. So there's your system. As you can see, you have your fitting going into the bottom of the cylinder. Oil comes in, fills the top, pushes them apart. And then when you open the valve, it can now come back through. Here is your actual control unit here. So this is the control unit there running the system. Let's see what else we have here. But there's multiple different ways. Like a truck like this is probably running a hydraulic system on it. I can't see the lines effectively here. But let's look at the lines. So the red one is your emergency. The blue is your service. That's the light cord. And then I think maybe these black lines here are hydraulics right there. These two black lines. That's a frameless dump. I have some frameless dump trailers too. Trying to see how I want to set this system up. So all right, so I'm trying to think of a system that I can tack on that will always work and have a separate dump panel. I think that's going to be the best way. So instead of doing like having TTIS do everything, the way I'm trying to work is TTIS is just going to work the brakes, and it's going to give all the information through, and then you can hook other systems up. So if you're going to have a dump truck, you take the regular TTIS Mark II, you hook it up to the dump system, then it goes to a dump trailer. If you want to hook it up to your lights, you then go TTIS, then that hooks to your lights, controls your lights. So that way you can modulate and work each independent system. All right, so I think let's start fresh. Let's do a hydraulic dump system. So let's save this. And let's try to make it work with the pressure update. That's a thing. A big thing is, I think a lot of people don't have vision, so when they kind of they don't see some of the possibilities with the update, and I think some people do, and that's helpful. So what we'll do here is I want to make a couple different hydraulic dump systems. So for example, some trailers will have a electric pump. And you have an electric-driven pump, and that pump will allow the liquid to go through. Now, I think what we'll do is do an impeller. So what you're doing is you're just passing electricity through, and then you're letting the unit on the trailer actually raise or lower the bed. So that will be one system we'll do. The versatility with this is all you're just doing is switching a button. And then what we want to do is, let's see. So what are you, fluid in? All right, so this is going to be the sump. All right, that's the sump. And this is the cylinder. So I would love it if the devs would give us an actual hydraulic update where they make all this work. So, for example, we would have kind of like our pneumatic cylinders, and we can actually pump oil into the cylinders. And if you pump oil into the front of the cylinder, it raises. You pump it into the rear of the cylinder, it lowers. I would love to see that. So what we'll use is, let's use diesel. Is fine. Wish we had oil. And this is going to be the cylinder. All right, so what this is going to do is these impellers will run both directions. They leak. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pump the oil from here into here. So the oil will go from the sump into the cylinder. And then when I stop the motor, it's going to allow the oil to come back and sit in this tank. So we'll do that. Let's go. Let's do that. Now, I'm trying to think if I want to add a manual valve. I think I do. So let's add a manual valve to this system. Trying to think how we do this. See, the problem is the one-ways are huge. I wish we had tiny little one-way valves on here, but we don't. So I'm trying to think if I want to do it this way. So this one will constantly turn the motor in order to get it to go up. So I might not use this. We might use pumps. Let's use pumps. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but we'll do it. Because the pumps work as one-way valves, and that's kind of what I want. So let's do that for now. All right, so we're going to go from the sump to the... We need to go from the sump to the cylinder. And we need a T-piece here. Try not to flick the camera 900 times. So this is the kind of stuff I enjoy with this update, is the ability to actually deal with this stuff. So this is going to be the cylinder. So this is just going to be representing what the cylinder would do. And that is going to go back to the sump. And then this one will be full. And then what we want to do here is I'm going to put a valve on this, a hand valve. And so this one will be more interactive. So you'll be able to, for example, you raise the trailer by pumping from the sump into the cylinder like you would IRL. Then when you want to lower the trailer, you need to open up the valve, which now allows the oil to go from the cylinder back to the sump, because this will be under pressure. Under pressure. So there's going to be a more realistic system. This is going to be simulated. And then I want to make a video at some point showing the devs how they could easily convert some stuff and make a hydraulic system and a pneumatic system. That would be a lot of fun. All right, so what we'll do here is, okay, so this is that. Let's take the blank microcontroller. Let's make the microcontroller for this system. Okay. This is going to be the electric, let's see, hydraulic, electric. All right, so this is the hydraulic electric system. And let's just add this in. So we need a couple things. We need to have... Let's see what we want here. We want to go... I'm trying to think here how we want to set this up. So we want to go... Trying to shrink out some stuff too. Let's go ahead and we'll do this. So this will be... it's going to be huge if I do that. It's all right. Let's see. Pump. Trigger, okay. This is going to be a little bit large, but that's all right. Most of the builds that this will go on are big, so. That goes to the pump. Hydraulic pump. All right. So we have 2 of these. This is going to be number input. This is going to be sump. And that's going to be number input cylinder. Okay. That's sump and cylinder. Gonna go output to piston to dump mechanism. All right, to dump mechanism there. All right, so we'll run with that for now, and then see if I want to add features. So this is going to be a more manual system. This is how some of them are run. That's going to be spawn. All right, good. Cylinder, sump, hydraulic pump, pump trigger. Okay, so the pump trigger is going to trigger the hydraulic pump. So there's going to be 2 conditions. That's why I even added these in, is I could cut this down if I got rid of this, but the other thing is if I use a panel, I can bring in a composite. So there's going to be a couple conditions here, but I need to check them. So this is going to be the pressure. And then what we'll do is we'll do a factor to this. So like this is probably going to go to 11 psi. So what we would do is like, you know, be 1 divided by 11, so it'd be 0.09. So function x times 0.09. That goes to the dump mechanism. It will be a cylinder. Cylinder would go there. I can't spell cylinder for shit. Extra C in there for no particular reason. Okay. So that's going to go there, and then the sump. Do I even need to read the sump? I don't need to read the sump. Okay, I don't need to read the sump at all, so that can go. And that can go like that. That really shrinks this down nicely. Okay, good. That should work pretty well. All right, good. So we'll update that. All right, so let's hook this up. That's going to be tank pressure. All we really care about is the cylinder pressure. To dump mechanism, that goes... that's going to do a piston for now. This might be a problem. I have to tune it in, so let's check it. And I need to read some numbers. All right, good. So let's go ahead and we'll run with this system here. I'll actually add a battery so we can do infinite electricity off for the moment. Okay. Did I hook the toggle button up? I don't know if I did or not. Nope. All right, let's give this a run and see what it looks like. Why is there a vehicle here? What is sitting there? Trailer sitting there? You gotta tip over, huh? You gotta tip over and be a jackass? All right, let's go like this. All right, so let's see. What is this reading here? Okay, it's going to read pressure, which is not helpful. I could do it off fill level. Might do it off fill level. So we're going to go ahead and start the pump. What's this reading at now? So you notice the piston is going down as the value goes down in there, but let's... So you notice that pumps it up, and it's actually utilizing how much is in here. You can see the pressure here. So what we do is I want to see what the max pressure is. The problem is we get air pressure in here, which kind of dicks up the numbers, but I have to deal with that. So there's 19. All right, so we shut the pump off. All right, and then what we're gonna do is I want to lower it. I'm gonna close my valve and see if we get a lowering of the piston. See, this is the problem, is this needs to burp air. That's kind of a nuisance. I gotta burp some air out of this, so it's gonna make it wider. Let's do this. I need to get the air out. You know, I need to purge the hydraulic system of air. I meant gas. I need to take a gas relief valve, stick that on here. Alright, so let's try that now. That should let some of the air pressure... Fuck. Merge that back. That's going to be a pain in the ass if I don't do that. Alright, so we're going to let the air out of here. As the air comes out, that's going to... should let this piston go back down. It is. It's slow, but you notice the piston is going back down as the air comes out. Now, likely, this is not going to be run off a piston. It'll be run off of a... it'll be run off of pivots. And the pistons will be faked, but I'm just trying to see... The problem is we're going to be starting with air in here, so that kind of screws up our system, so I need to do, like, the baseline on it. All right, and then let's go ahead and raise it. There we go. It raises. All right. Shut it off. It should stay up because the pressure in here is static. All right, then we open the valve. Fucking no clip. All right, now the pressure should be coming out of here and going back to the sump. But it's going to split the pressure. This is the problem. So let's see what we read here. I think we'll run this off liquid. I might have to do... See, I want to do a valve, but I might have to do dual. I'm going to have to pump it because it's like IRL, you're going to get the gravity pushing down on the piston. You're not going to get that in game. I'm going to have to essentially pump it. All right, I need to check quantities here, so let's go ahead and take a dial. This one is tank contents. Let's go there. Let's check it. All right, it is showing me 8.69, 8.69. Perfect. All right, so that will work for these. So, a little more complicated than I like, but... All right, so let's go. We need to take in... That's going to be sump. That's going to be hydraulic pump. Raise. Lower. Okay. So we'll get a sump reading here. So we want two conditions. When I want to raise it when it's what was it, 8.9. So when the button is on and the cylinder is less than Now we'll go full oil is 8.9. So if the pump is triggered and we're less than 8.9 in the cylinder, it's going to raise it. If we are see. And let's see if this is not on. So if we shut the button off, and the sump is less than 8.9. That's going to lower it. Okay. Let's plug these in. That's lower. That's raise. That's going to be cylinder. We want tank contents instead. Yeah, we got to do it off tank contents. The pressure's going to get funky because of the air. All right, and then it goes to 8.9, so I need to change the lift mechanism itself. Problem is, this is going to be super fast. So what we'll do here is we'll kind of fake it a little bit here. All right, let's try this. All right. This should be lowered. So that's full of oil. That should be empty of oil. Let me check it again. Yeah. All right, there we go. So when this is full, it will start to slowly go up. All right, and then when we shut it off, this pump should go on. This pump should be off. And why is this not taking all the diesel out? This should be pulling the diesel out of there. How is it not? Oh, there is an air purge, so if it had air in there, it should be pushing it out. Why are we taking no air? Taking no fuel at all. Interesting. Why the hell is this not emptying? The air should be purging out of here. Probably needs gas relief on that end too. It doesn't matter now. It just should pump it through here and get the gas out. Let me try putting a gas relief on the other end. Try to get the gas out. Because this is fuck. You know, this is maxing out the pressure that small pump can do. So. Alright, cylinder. Is the cylinder raising? Alright, so we're pretty much, we've got all the, you know, we have some diesel stuck in there, but we still have some air stuck in here, so let's cycle it again. That should turn this pump on. Why the hell is it splitting the diesel? That is a gas relief valve. Yeah, it should be blowing the air out of there. I'm going to go take a quick coffee break, and I need to use the facilities. And we'll come back and we'll figure out what we want to do on this and how to fix it. Alright, so one thing I wonder is if I can just simulate it with air. We might run into an issue trying to run this with liquids. Let's see. Because, like, see, it's stopping at 4.34 liters. I'm pressurizing that up. Let's try to cut the actual liquid amount down. We're pushing. That's gonna be a pain in the ass too. Trying to decide the best way to do this here. Try to do it a different way. Try. See if I can move just air. I don't know, man. Let me go back. Let me see what I can screw with here. Not that it matters, but I'm gonna run. That should be empty. So that's 0. That's full. Let's go to like 50%. I want to see what the pressures are, and then I need to play with the stuff in here. So let's update this. I need to see what that's going to do. So let's go down to 50%. I might just be overfilling this, and we're hitting the pressure limit too soon. All right, so this has, this here has, why are we going up in pressure? This is what I'm not getting here, is I'm looking at this, and we're climbing in pressure, and I have nothing going on. So that's interesting. See, it's starting at 8 atmospheres. Why the hell is it starting at 8 atmospheres? Look at the tank contents going up. Pressure's going up. I have no clue what the hell that's about. There's no air in here. It's all water. On this side, okay, we have no pressure, which makes sense, but why the hell is that side pressurized? And then we'll push the air out when we do this. So that's pushing the pressure up on this side. It's drawing out of that side. And then that, yep, that's pushing all the air out. That's fine. That's working. Okay. Now that one should be pushing. Why is that not? Did I not hook up the electricity? I didn't hook up the electricity. That's fucking why. Okay. All right, that was me. It was me being stupid. All right, there we go. That was what it was, an electrical problem. That would be why I wasn't pushing it back, so I didn't have the electricity hooked up. All right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make some space. So let's see if I can leave the air in the system, because that would really help shrink it down. Let's cut the fill level down to like 20%. I don't need a ton in there. And let's see where we're at. We're at 2.7 liters, okay. So let's go in here and change that to 2.7. All right, so this is at 2.7. You can see the cylinder is coming down, which is what we want. So when the system is off, we want the cylinder to come down. All right, good. And now we want to send oil in, and oil goes in. All right, so this is working. So this is simulating, simulating pumping oil from the sump into the cylinder, and then we return it back. Now, I should be able to do this with a valve tweaking the numbers. So I'm going to do it with a valve to tweak the numbers. Let's do this. Because I want to do a manual valve, so this will be kind of cool. You'll actually physically have to plumb this up, and I think that would be interesting. All right, good, perfect. That was right. All right, good. So let's try this with a manual valve now. And so let's see. So now it's going to go down because there's no oil in the in here. The problem is it's going to push it around this way. So let's go. Actually, that should be a one-way. It should work as a one-way valve. Let's see if it actually does. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. All right, so this should collapse. That's what we expect to happen. We're going to fill it up. There it goes. And the whole thing is, once I get the logic done on this, I can change the way the hydraulic system works. So say, for example, like some of my dump trucks, what I want to do is actually have a either the pump or an impeller on the truck that's driven by the engine. So you rev up the engine, it goes faster. And then what would happen is you would have hydraulic lines. So it would be a hose that goes from the truck to the trailer, and that hose would be for hydraulic fluid. And so you'd actually be pumping the fluid from the truck into the trailer and then back, and that would be how you run your hydraulic system. So it'd be like a realistic hydraulic connection. It would be kind of cool. All right, so now that's good. So now what I want to do is when I open the valve, this should hopefully drop. So. And are we doing anything? No. So it's not enough to push it back, which is unfortunate. I don't know why. I don't know why the valve doesn't want to just push it back. We're getting no flow off the valve. They're at equal pressure is part of the problem. It split it. It didn't... Oh, it's the logic I've got screwed up, but let me see. I want to check the pressures here. So this is 5.7, that's 3.8. All right, good. So let's see if we can do this via pressure. We're going to change up how this runs a little bit. So let's go ahead, and I need to check these numbers again. Let's start fresh. All right, so the pressure is 5.6. 5.6. So let's see. So when it goes to 5.6, I want it to raise. That will drop it below 5.6. If you turn on the pump without closing the valve, it will never get to 5.6. Yeah, see, it should never get to 5.6 because it's circulating. So now if you want to raise your dump body, you need to make sure you shut your valve. You shut your valve, then you're good to go. So the other thing is I could run this off an engine-driven impeller as well. So this will be the electric system, and then I'll do an engine-driven impeller as well. It'll be kind of an interesting system. No multiplayer today, Niv. Yeah, that's why I was thinking impeller initially. The issue is impellers allow backflow, so I need to put in one-way valves, which are kind of a pain in the ass. See you later, Amanda. So that's the problem, is I'd have to put a one-way valve, so that's the only reason I kind of got away from that for a second, was that. I'm going to do a couple systems. This is going to be the electric system, and then, shit, I forgot the numbers here. Let me do this real quick. 5.6, I believe. Let me check it. 5.6. Okay, let's get in there and fix this. So I'm going to try to parse this down again. So let's see what we can do here. We'll just run the cylinder. We'll get rid of the sump. Hydraulic pump lower. That can go. Goes at dump. Raise. Trigger. Okay, that's good. So I can cut this down a little again. All right, let's see. So if the cylinder is, let's see, I don't want oil. I'm going to do pressure again. So let's go back to pressure. So that's kind of what I want to play with, is the pressure mechanic on here. And I don't need the sump anymore. That can go. So we can cut this down even more. I'm trying to cut the panel too. I don't need the sump. Okay. And what was the number? 5.6? 5.6. Oil pressure. So if the cylinder is, all right, so if the cylinder pressure is, it should be greater now. Just put a greater in. Oh, shit, no, that was right. All right, so if the cylinder is not at 5.6 and the trigger is on, do the pump. If the cylinder is not less than that, you want to raise it. The cylinder is less than this, you want to lower it. Okay. This can go. I thought I got rid of hydraulic pump lower. Okay. That should run the system. So this will be the electric system, and then we're going to have another system for when it's not electric. Okay, boogie woogie. Alright, so is this going to lower itself down to 0? Make sure I have this going below 0 here. Yep, that's on there. Reset, -1, -1. Let's see. If the cylinder is less than 5.6, Why is that not lowering it, though? That's the question. Cylinder's less than that. It should be lowering it all the way down to -1. So I have to see why it's reading above 5.6. Let's see. This should, if this is below 5.6, which it is, this should be lowering. Why the fuck is it not? Pressure is at 0.44, so that's certainly less than 5.6. I moved something. That's why. I moved the node and that detached it. Okay. So there we go. It is dropping now. Okay, good. So that's dropping. So again, you have to do this on some dump trucks. You have to work your valve. So like there were some dump trucks I worked on where you'd leave the valve open all the time. It wouldn't leave it open all the time, but you would you'd make sure the valve was closed, and then you would pump. So you would turn the valve to the right, and then you would push the button, and it would pump. All right, so now we want to make sure the valve is closed, and then we press the button. That's going to raise the trailer. So only when the tank is full is this going to do it. So I might try it with an impeller. We'll see how much electricity it uses. That kind of frightens me, how much electricity it might use. We'll kind of keep an eye on that. All right, good. So that's full. Now we'll go ahead and pump comes off and the valve closes. Now it's going to go down. All right, good. So that's helpful. That is helpful. All right, so that's pretty good. All right, so that's where I want it now for the electric system. So let's go ahead and save this. Okay, that's the hydraulic dump system electric pump. So this one you need to actuate the valve to lower the trailer. So that works well. So like this would go on the trailer, and then you just pass an electrical signal through to raise it. So that's good. And then I want to make one that is... I think I want to do this. Which one's which? That's fluid in. That's fluid out. Which one was out? That one, okay. And this could either be driven by the engine or a different electric pump on this one. So let's see. All right. And so now instead of this, let's go real low on this. I want to see how much electricity it's going to use. So what we'll do is to the to here. All right, let's try this. Tip over now, you dickhead. Let's fix that. All right, sump has 1.3. This has 1.36. So it's not a high enough pressure to keep it in there. Let's change that number again. Let's just go full 1 on this and see. Go full send, see what happens. All right, so this is going to equalize them. That's fine. Color. Fucking electricity again. Run so much stuff with infinite electricity to test it, then I do this and I screw it up. All right, so that's working. We're gonna try to get this battery. Like, it's not even that much battery. It's actually not too bad. So we'll see how low I can go to get this to run right. So let's go 0.1 again. So 0.1 will work, and it's using an equal amount of battery. It's a little bit. It's not that hungry. I think we'll be all right. All right, so as long as the pump's on, it's going to raise this up. It's going to see the problem is it keeps going down below, so we got to... see. So this one, I don't want this condition here anymore. I don't want this because this one can allow backflow. The other system couldn't allow backflow, so I want it to shut off. This one I don't want to shut off. That'll fix this. All right, so that's going to just go up. See, it eats a ton of battery is the problem. Not happy with the battery usage in this. That's the only issue I have with this, is it eats up a ton of battery. So I'm going to keep going down on this and see how low I can go, because I don't want to eat up a lot of battery. Yeah, that's why like a lot of them will use engine-driven pumps too, is you'll eat up battery all the time. Yeah, this unfortunately this system uses up battery, but this will probably likely move to a an engine-driven system. So it's likely going to be the engine-driven system. So I just wish the clutches weren't so big. I wish we had a 1x1 clutch. That would be really helpful. All right, interesting. So let's get this set up for an actual hydraulic system, or an actual truck system here. So I'm trying to get these, see where I can set these up to get them lined up. I want both of these connections on the other side, essentially. So this one here is going to be the engine-driven system. I'm not using an electric pump. That's what the other system's for, but I want to test this with this. So. Let's go like this. So what this is going to actually do is you're going to hook a hydraulic line up to the trailer when you do this, and this engine is going to actually activate this. So fuck off with the symmetry. Go. All right, cut this. So that's going to get connected directly to the engine, and then let's see how we plumb these in. So like this is the system I want to put on this vehicle, so I'm trying to get these set up. And then the sump is going to be actually on the trailer. So I'm just trying to make some kind of setup here. All right, good. So that's kind of how this system's going to set up. It works. Let's go ahead and save this as the PTO pump. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and try to load this in and work with the miner on this. So what I'll load first is the this is the DT45 T-Test Mark II. All right, so that is going to go here. All right, good. All right, so really all that's going here is the microcontroller. And so this is all valve driven. So we manually go control some hand valves on this. So this is going to be kind of cool. I kind of like this manual hand driven system here. Where are you going to go there, guy? Right there. Okay. So let me put a light panel in here at some point, but reserve that for later. All right, good. That goes there. And then what we're going to do is set up the system here. So I'm trying to think. We probably want a return. We'll probably use the same hydraulic pump. So this is going to be airline. Okay, brake line. You would have two IRL, but I just have the one. And this is going to be hydraulics. Hydraulic. Okay, good. So that'll set up like that. Because I actually want to physically plumb these things in. That's kind of the fun for me. It's like when, you know, like when I said those people were saying, oh, there's no purpose for the pressurization update. For them, yeah, there's no purpose for the pressurization update. For me, I love it because this is the kind of stuff that I like doing is making these systems, you know, not faked anymore, making them realistic. You know, that's what I like to do is make these systems realistic, actually have a reason to have components on trailers and stuff. So that's why for me, I love this stuff because it's could take a system like this that's pressurized and I can actually pump, you know, in this case, whatever I'm going to pump, like, you know, I'm using diesel, but I can pump diesel as an allegory for oil to actually make the system work how it should, you know, which is kind of cool. All right, so we'll go to there, and then I want... So all I need here is a sump tank. And usually on these, you're going to need a lot of oil. How much oil do I want to run with this sump? Let's just run a small. And then I'm going to go full volume on this. So that will be the sump tank right there. All right, so that's going to be our hydraulic oil sump right there. All right, and so on this, this is going to get split up anyway. I got to do that, but so here's our tank. I'm using pressure, right? I'm using pressure. So let's go to here. So that's the cylinder tank. So this is, we'll label it. Hydraulic cylinder. Okay, diesel. Fill level on this is going to be 0. Okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to come out off of this. And this is what's cool to me, is this valve now should go like this. Okay. I think you can get these valves to backflow. I'm going to see if I can get this valve to backflow or not. If I can't, I'm going to have to put a one-way on there. But we'll see. I should be able to get this to backflow, I think. Let's see. All right, and so this is going to be on the trailer. So this actual panel is going to shrink down. This just has trailer information. All right, so what we want to do here is, if the cylinder fluid oil pressure is greater, I'm going to change that number. I'm going to increase the pressure on it. That will do the dump mechanism. All right, good. This will go hydraulic pump base and pump trigger. So those can go. Pump trigger, hydraulic pump raise, those can go. So this is going to be a small panel, which is nice. All right, good. So this is going to be a much simpler system. I like this. This is going to be engine driven. So that's kind of its job. And then I need to move a node here. That goes to the dump mechanism. So right here, I have the, these are actually the pivots that are doing the thing. Those go there now. And that's what's going to control those. All right, good. So this trailer's pretty much set up. That's real simple. I want to keep this system simple. And then we're going to work on the other Johnny. All right, good. So let's save that. All right, good. And now what we want to do is grab the actual power unit, which is this. All right, and on this side is going to be the hydraulic hose. So let's go. Where did I put it? I put one there, and then we go up like that. And then this gets booted too. And then this is going to be hydraulics on this side right here. All right, there's hydraulics. Fucking color swap, I did. Come on, dude, stop doing color swap. You're going to cost yourself a ton of work. All right, so here is the engine-driven pump. So this is coming off the engine right here for the systems. And so what I'm going to do here is, see where I want to plug in the engine power there. Can't cut there, can I? That's kind of an annoying spot for it. Actually, I think we'll be all right. Let's cut right here. Okay. So this is all power connection here. Impeller. So I have a lot of impellers on this build, which is nice. You'd often have a bunch of impellers on these things, IRL. Please be out right here. Out. Oh, look at that. The gods have smiled upon thee. Give me a goddamn elbow, please. Thank you. All right, so that will be fluid out, and then what we'll do is we'll grab a tank. And this is actually going to be what has the diesel in it. All right, that's full of diesel. I need to check the fill level on this. But, like, this is a very mechanical system. This is not a... this is all mechanical. There's very little to this, and that's kind of why I like it. It's kind of designed to be realistic how it would be. You're actually moving a fluid, and that is what's doing the work. So let's quickly check that. I need infinite electricity to check that number I just checked and putting in. So like that's 16.9. Okay, 16.9. All right, so now this is plumbed in the hydraulic. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook up a hose here. Storage. Okay. So that is now hooked up to actual hydraulics. They are driven by the engine. All right, so let's pull this out. All right, and then we want to get the trailer. All right, you see it has that. We have the valve we can reach. So this is an actual valve that is going to cause us to be able to raise this trailer up. All right. Let's back in and hook up. So this is how a lot of systems will work. You go back to the trailer, you flip a valve, and then you just rev up your engine to make the PTO. Oh, fucking missed it. Missed it. Missed the pin. The spout blocks the backup, so I have to kind of look around it a little bit. I can use the side mirrors to good effect too. But... all right, see, I need to come this way. I went the wrong way. All right, let's go. I'm just gonna do a third person here. All right, there we go. Tractor supply's off. All right, good. So now... so you take from storage. Storage is just where they're held, so that's where you grab from a storage. This actually goes to the hydraulic pump now. So what's going to happen is the pump is going to go as we're driving, as we're revving our engine, and it's going to stop at the valve. So because it stops at the valve, it can't fill the sump tank. So here's the sump tank. The sump tank, you can see, is empty because the oil can't go through that valve. That valve is stopping the trailer from going. It's stopping the oil to go to the cylinder pump. That cylinder tank. It's like all that devs would have to do to make this work is we would plumb oil directly to the cylinder. And then we could make it work. You know, so... kind of think through it myself, make a video at some point. All right, good. So now we're ready to dump, okay? So what we want to do is we're going to park. So we go ahead and we would do, we're parked, and let's rev up our engine. All right, so our engine is revving up. The trailer's not doing anything. The oil is pumping. So let's see if I can see it. So right there is, like, you can see the actual pump right there. So it's pumping it up, and then when I open the valve, it should start to send oil to here, hopefully. Why the fuck aren't you moving oil? Let's see what's up. I'm on the wrong one. I plugged the wrong one in. Okay, let's check it now. All right, so now it's fine. The diesel is at 6.3. I need to change my numbers, though. So, shit. I need to change the numbers. 6.3 liters. Let's see what's in this tank. Can't get in here. Shit. Shit, shit, and shit. I changed the numbers for some reason. Oh, there it goes. We're up. Okay, good. So now it pumped it up. All right, so now it's not gonna go down while I'm revving because all I've done is I'm holding the liquid in there, so that should keep the trailer up. So if we stop revving for a second, it should keep the liquid in the trailer. So we've pumped the oil from the sump in the tractor into the cylinder. That little tank is simulating the cylinder volume. It pumps the oil from here into the cylinder. Now the cylinder has a valve closed, so it should be holding on to that oil. It is, okay? Now we stop revving. Hopefully we can backflow a little bit. Let's see. We may not be able to backflow. That's the problem. All right, that valve is working as a one-way. It's not backflowing. Okay. So I have to come up with a different valve scheme to get that to work, right? Okay, that's fine. So we can work on that. Okay, let's go. I want to turn this too so it's not touching the bottom of the bed. Let's see. I gotta push this back. I need more space. Let's see. I'm trying to think of the most space conscious on this. Christ, if I could like figure out what orientation I'm doing here. I can't think of where I'm standing, so that's a problem. Okay. It's not gonna work. Piss. All right, I'm just trying to be space conscious here. Yeah. I need to run 2 lines, which is kind of funky. Also, I'm going to move it over the driver's side so that I don't have to... it's a pain in the ass because I have the airline there. Go like this. All right, that's the airline there. This is hydraulic, so I need to move across to get to hydraulic. Now let's go ahead. Let's go in the frame here and back out. Let's go. Oh, Christ on a cracker. What are we doing here? So I need to actually route this to go correctly. The problem is I have one-way valves I got to deal with here, so... Okay, and this will go back. Can I go under that? I cannot. Okay, that is occupado there. So there's sump valve here. Let's move that sump valve back, sump tank back. So the sump tank would go here. Go like this. Problem is this airline actually needs to go back to the back, so you know, of course they'd be very tiny. You could run them right next to each other. In game I can't because they're larger. Let's see if I can go tall on this. So let's go. So I can't put anything under here because the trailer needs to turn, but I can go back to here. So I'm going to go back a little bit. I actually need to make this physically work, so it's a very mechanical system now. Okay. Which I like. I want it to be a mechanical system. That's how it would be IRL, you know, it'd be mechanical. Yes, this ruins this here. Let's go like this here. Okay, there we go. That will fix that up. Okay, now I can plumb through. So let's see. We're still doing symmetry, huh? Get off that. Okay, good. Alright, so we need a T there. We need a valve. I just need a return valve. So I just need an inflow and a return valve. That's all I need. Inflow and return. Okay. So that should work for me if I do an inflow and a return. Okay, what are you? You should be out. Okay. And so I need this to be a return valve only. Alright, so that's a return valve. That's all I need there is a return valve. Alright. And that's fluid in. Perfect. Alright, that'll work. Alright, and so what I'll do is I'll cut some of this bullshit out of here. And I'll put the sump tank right here. So it's going to be return here. Let's go like that, I guess. Okay, that'll work. Perfect. All right, that's going to work. Trying to put it right. I'm trying to keep it out of the way so it doesn't hit anything. I think we'll be all right here. Let's do it right there. Okay, and let's cut here. All right. The problem is this physically has to work. It's like no longer cheating or faked. It has to actually work. So, all right. So what this will do is when we pressurize the liquid, it comes through here. It goes in here and it pressurizes the tank. Balls, that's not going to work. I need to put a one-way valve here. Yep, I need to put a one-way there, so. Okay, let's move that back one. That sucks right there. Okay. We'll be alright, I can move it here. Okay. Alright, that works. Yeah, I hate that these one-way valves here are huge. I could just use a man valve here. Let's use a manual valve. Screw it. I'm going to use a manual valve. I'll just leave it in the open position to start with. Okay, I'm going to leave this in the open position to start with. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. Back it up, and then I can use I don't need two spaces. That was the problem, is I was needing two spaces. Now I don't. So use a manual valve. The benefit of these manual valves, they work the same as this flow valve but the difference is I don't have to. I don't need 2 spaces. It's like everything, they build a lot of stuff. It's just too big. So what we'll do is we'll start this in the open position, and then for maintenance, you could manually close it. And then this is going to send the oil back. Like that. Okay. Perfect. And then this one, the return valve. So when we want to lower the trailer, we need to open the valve to let the oil go back to the sump. This is how it worked. This is how it worked in real life. Is you would pump into the cylinder, and it would be a one-way valve. So you're pumping into the cylinder, and you pump oil from the sump through the pump into the cylinder. It pushes the cylinder up. Then you close a valve, so the oil can't come back and let the cylinder collapse. But when you open the valve. Now the cylinder is going to push down on the oil, and it's going to push it back through into the sump. So that is that. So this valve will start. This is the sump to sump 2, and this is sump return. All right, sump return. This one starts open, this one starts closed. All right, perfect. That should work. Now let's save it real quick. Because I'm trying to keep it compact, but I also want to have interesting things that you have to get out of the cab, you have to go do stuff. It kind of keeps me interested, is having stuff to do. All right, and so we'll back up. So this actually makes it so that this power unit is actually producing the oil pressure required to lift the cylinder. Now, of course, we have to fake it, where it'd be awesome if we had real hydraulic cylinders. You'd actually have to plumb these in. And so what I would do if I was the devs is I would make it electronically controlled valves. Let's say you take a pneumatic cylinder and you have one pipe connection on the bottom, okay? You plumb into the pneumatic cylinder, you pipe it in, and then you can take oil in or out of the cylinder. As oil goes in, it expands. As oil comes out, it contracts. That would be really cool. All right, so now let's plug in all of our lines. So we have... Oh, fuck. I lost my lines. Son of a bitch. Oh, you suck so bad. I lost all my lines here. I can steal these, but... all right, so we need to go from the fluid hose anchor to here. For hydraulics, I need pneumatics. Again, so we have simulated pneumatics, so it needs to go from the air supply to the brake line. I need a light cord. The light cord will go from right here. Where is it? So light cord to there. All right, good. We're all hooked up now. All right, so the brakes can come off on the trailer now. We can get air. All right. So we're all hooked up. So now as I'm driving, the pump is turning, trying to pressurize the hydraulic fluid. But it's hitting that first valve, and it can't go anywhere. Let's see. All right, let's check it here real quick. So the flow should be coming through here. Is it going in? All right, let's try revving this sucker up and see what happens. I might need to start with that first valve closed, so let's rev up. Let's see. I put these backwards. These are backwards. Fuck. Let me see what I'm supposed to be doing here. I gotta figure this out. Alright, so the hydraulic oil should be coming through. I hooked it up the wrong one again. No, I didn't. Okay. So the oil should be coming through here, should be cutting through the teeth section, if I can see. Should be going through the T section, through this valve, into this tank here. And then the sump returns closed, so that should raise it. Let me see why it's not. Let's get all these hoses disconnected so I can check. What I screwed up here. Can't see the goddamn thing, which sucks. Alright, let's see. Let me look over this again. I'm gonna redo some of this, I think. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. I can simplify this by quite a bit. I just need to loop it, but I can simplify this quite a bit. So what's going to happen is, so to simplify this, the oil pumps in from the truck. It goes down here, and I should be able to get rid of a valve here. Let's try that. So this is what this is going to do is, if this is open, this is sump return open. Okay, what's going to happen is this. All right, the oil is going to come from the tractor, from the power unit. It's going to come in here. It's going to go through this. Let's say this is open. Okay, that's open. So what's going to do is it's going to come in here. It's going to go through here. It's going to also go the other side, and it's going to circulate. So because it's circulating, it's never going to be able to build up too much pressure in this tank, because this tank here, it's going to send oil in, but it's also going to send oil out. And so the oil is going to be coming in and out, and in and out, and in and out. And because of that, the oil pressure can never build up. Then if you close this valve, what's going to happen is the oil is going to come in, it's going to hit this tank, and it can't come back out. Because it can't come back out, it's going to pressurize. And that's going to let the system pressurize. So let's try that. That should work. Hopefully. Let me check all the system here. So that goes there. That goes to here. This should be zeroed. 0. Okay. And then that comes here, that angles around, that goes back through there, and that comes out. Okay, that will work. Let me check all the colors, make sure they're on the right sub-body. Okay, good. Let's try saving that. And then I got to pull the power unit back in. The power unit needs to be, I need to check something. So the other issue I had was the, let's go here and... All right, this is diesel 100%. That's good. I'm going to need to check some of the numbers. Well, let's go to 20. 20 was where I had the other one, and that was working fine. So let's just go to 20 on this. And so this should... so it will pump oil out, and then out of the sump tank, and then it will circulate. And then when I close that valve, it will run it. Well, that's the problem. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what we do here. I'm going to lose a little oil every time I do it, but that's why I should probably start the other tank full of oil. Yeah, I should start the other tank full of oil so that I'm not taking any oil from my trailer, so I should do that as well. That's something you do IRL is you'd have your sump tank on your trailer full of oil, and you'd have your sump tank on your tractor full of oil, so that you give some of the oil to the trailer and you take some from the sump and vice versa, and so you never actually lose any volume. I don't need this one on. That would be blowing air out. Okay. But this will be a more realistic hydraulic system. It's also super simple. That's kind of the thing I like about it, is it's super simple. So what it's going to hopefully allow to do is Because it's simple, all I need is one hydraulic hose, and the trailer has one valve. And that way, like, I don't need any buttons. I literally don't need any buttons, which is nice. Let's see, light cord, and then that is storage. Take that off, put that there. This is here storage, and that goes there. I should probably change. I can't really flip it around. All right, so that is pretty good, I think. All right, so this valve will be sump return will be open, and so what this should allow it to do is circulate the oil all around and not lift the trailer when I rev it. So let's try that and see if that does not lift the trailer. All right. Now, if I close this, we should probably build pressure, I'm thinking. Something wrong with this. I got to figure it out. It's pissing me off. I'm missing something here. I can't see where I'm missing. It's this. That's plumbed in. Why is this not pressurizing properly? Let's fill that up with diesel. Oh, you cocksucker. I'm gonna redo this system, but I need to read the pressures, so I need to do this here. I need to read the pressures, so I need to see what's going on here. So I need to add some dials. But I think we're getting close here to having a cool system that will be both cool and will be simple. It's just I gotta figure it out and see what I have to do. All right, so spawn that. No, I don't want to fucking do that. Save you. God damn it, this is annoying me. Close this. I gotta get the trailer back. Stop. Just exit today, please. It's taking a while because it was still flicking around. All right, that's full. Let me make sure I hooked all my connections up. It seems like a connection's off. That is tank pressure. That's good. And then this should just be going out to there, so that should work. All right, good. So let's what is that? That's tip. Okay. Let's try to get this set up. This is when it's beneficial, when I can just easily add two at the same time next to each other. I should go to like the train base that, oh god damn it. Should go to the train base where I can spawn these next to each other, just be quicker, but I'm not gonna bother. What's the gear ratio for 6 gear and your 10 speed? 6 gear and the 10 speed. 6 would start going in the low box. I'm trying to think. What would 6 start running? 6 is probably, try a 3-1 maybe? 3-1? Trying to think the speed. What's 6? 6 is probably 15 miles an hour. I think that's probably 15 miles an hour. Alright, so I'm going to rev this up. I want to see what this is doing here. Yeah. Why is the pressure reading nothing? Oh, it's getting annoying that. What the fuck is wrong with this? Tank pressure. Why is the tank pressure not reading shit? Why is that not reading? Why is this tank pressure not reading? Diesel, it's full. Should have a pressure. Why is it not reading its pressure? This could be the issue too, is... Okay, it says tank pressure. So there, that's electrified off of this clutch. So that's what the fuck, man. I can't move anything to see. I'm gonna quickly move some shit so I can actually see what's going on in there. Because I want to get this done, and then I'll take a break, you know, but it's, I want to get this done. Because, like, this is going to be the simplest system. This is even more simple than the, that's the wrong one. It's up there anyway. Okay. Let's see if I can punch a hole in here to look at it. God damn it, that's something important, is it? No. It's right there. Let's see if I can punch a hole in, or I can jump. Okay, I can get right in here and look at it. All right, that's right where it is. I can look at it. Okay. I can work with that. All right. Let's see what the hell this is doing. All right, the impeller is running. All right. The fluid has no diesel in there, huh? Okay, took the diesel out. The diesel is all in the lines. All right, the diesel's all in the lines where it should be. Okay. It looks complicated, but this is reasonably simple. It's just like I'm making some small error, or it's not behaving the way I think it should. And all right, so the reason that's going up is I put extra capacity in here, and I need to read the pressure. So I do need to get under there and read it. I need to read the new pressure. So what's the new pressure? Let's say 16. All right, so let's make this new value 16. This is not hydraulic electric. This is hydraulic PTO. And that is going to be 16. So if the pressure is over 16 atmospheres, it will raise. Okay. All right. Why are you still raising? What? Dude, I'm looking at the pressure. 16. Okay, I read the wrong shit again. Let's see. $16.9. Let's make it 17. Let's make it 20. Screw it. All right. See, the problem is I didn't get this thing finished by, like, I didn't finish all the testing. I'm trying to test too much of this on the final product, and the testing takes forever because I got to pull this out, back it in, check it. It's just a lot of testing. Delay, essentially. All right, so let's look at the system when I plug it in. So let's go ahead and we'll rev up. All right, so now there should be no, pretty much no diesel in this tank because it's all in the lines now. All right, so that's moving. Let's say that needs to go from storage to here. All right, so now that should be pumping to this tank. Okay, good. Look at the pressure. The pressure is now up to 24. So that is working. This should be raising. Why the Christ is this not raising? There we go. Perfect. All right, now it hit. Okay, so there we go. So now it hit the right pressure. Okay. So it hit the right pressure. I need to fix that, so it's not doing that. Oh, I know why it's doing that. Okay. All right, so now we're up at pressure, right? So what's happening is the oil is coming from the sump, through the pump, through the hose, into this tank, and it's pressurizing this tank, which simulates the cylinder. Okay, which actually the cylinder's back here. So it's simulating the cylinder, okay? Now what's going to happen is if I open this valve, I give that oil a place to escape back to the sump. So if it drops below 20, it should drop. All right, now I probably need to stop revving. Shit. So I gotta work this. I need to send that back to the sump. So is it going through the valve? I might have to do 2. This was the other thought I had, is I might need 2 hydraulic lines. We'll see. So that's going to reduce the pump on there. Yeah, I might have to do it as a full cycle. It's going to have to be a full cycle. The problem with that is that's realistic to have a full cycle system, but the issue being that it takes up a shitload of space. Okay, let's attach these hoses here. All right, so I have to do a full cycle system, which let me quickly do a quick diagram here. It'll be easier. All right, so essentially what's going to happen is the path of this is going to be, we start at the power, oh Christ on a cracker, give me the thing. All right, we start, oh, why? Listen, it's friggin' literally black. Paint the line black. Oh, the escape, okay, there we go. All right, so we start with the power unit. What the power unit's going to do is it's going to send out to the trailer. All right, and so the power unit is going to have a pump. All right, and it has a sump. The sump is just a tank. So what's going to have to happen is the diesel needs to come out of this pump, go into the trailer, into its tank. And then I have it come and it stops at a valve. So the valve is closed. So what's going to happen is this pump's going to pump the diesel out. It's going to pump it out to the tank, increasing the pressure, causing the cylinder to go up. It's going to hit the valve so the pressure can go up as this is pressurizing the line. Then when I open this valve, it can then come back and it's going to go on the other side of the sump to complete the circuit. All right. Now, if this is open, if this valve is open, it circulates and the pressure never builds up. As soon as this valve closes, it comes in here, it gets stuck, it can't go anywhere, and the pressure pushes the cylinder up. So that's a standard sump system. I was hoping I could get around it, but it doesn't look like it. All right, so we can work on that. So this here is going to be, you need a dual system. All right, so I thought we might get into this, and we ended up, we did. So we have to do this. So it's circulating the system. Like, in real life, of course, like, the hydraulic lines are pretty small, the air lines are pretty small. Like, you can run all this stuff really efficiently. And in game, we've got, you know, quarter meter everything, so it kind of makes it tough. But should be all right here. So that is going to be, let's see, hydraulic send. Return. All right, so this is the send. This sends the hydraulic pressure, and this returns it back to the sump. Okay, so that's connected. Let's save this. Okay. Now I need to bring the power unit back in. We can get rid of that dial. I don't need that anymore. All right, so now I need to do 2. So let's see what we can find for space in here to do this. It's going to be tight. All right, I'm just going to rip some of this apart and get that in there. Okay. This is very tight in here. This side especially is very tight for this stuff. Crap and a crap and a crap and a crap. Let's try, I should be able to go forward a little bit. All right, so that's going to be fluid in, fluid out. All right, so this is going to be fluid out going to the That goes out. Shit, that's going to be in the way. I can go up this rail. Okay. Oh, come on. Stop deleting random shit. All right, that'll work like that. All right, so this will go, that's going to be fluid out, so that goes to the send. All right, hydraulic send is right there. And then we should be able to run a return line right here to the return here. So this is a fluid in right there. So this will be the hydraulic return. Hydraulic return right there. All right, good. Let's paint these. Okay, that's going to be this color. Okay, there we go. All right, then I need two just plugs to tie these off on. So where's the bottom one there? Okay. I think we're gonna do the same style on this side. All right, so if you see, like for the guys who've been playing multiplayer, if you see it says a return line, or if you see it says storage, these say storage, that means that's where you plug them in to just store them. If it, you know, so like this here will be, check this one, this one should be the send. This is send. The hydraulic send, this is hydraulic return. This is storage. And this is storage. So this just means that's where you plug them into. Okay, storage. All right, good. All right, I'm gonna save myself a second's work here. I saved that. I did. Okay, good. Save the other one. All right, good. Hopefully I can get the 45 in here without moving it. This is going to save me time here. All right. All right, so now we're connected. Let's go ahead and let's plumb these in. So storage. So you go from the storage. You want to grab from the storage because the other one has to stay plugged in like that. So you would go, God damn, I didn't grab those lines and hook them up. All right, so this one here is going to be hydraulic send. Get closer, jackass. Why won't you? Oh, they're fucking electrical cords. God damn it. How many times can I have to redo shit? This is starting to get annoying. Okay. Ugh. Getting annoyed here. What happened to the... I never plumbed the line in either. God damn it, man. Getting flustered, so I'm missing a ton of steps. All right. Storage. Storage. Hydraulic return. Send. Okay, plumb that friggin' thing in before I lose my mind. Okay, good. I like the complexity of this, but it does add complexity and something I have to do. It's working fine when it works. All right, good. So that is now send and return like that. See, I did it. I just edited out. I edited the version with the trailer on it. That's why I was fighting the urge to do that. Was for this very reason. Because now they're stuck together. I have to go back on the independent parts and do it. So, all right, let's hook the hydraulic send. You need to grab the storage. So here's the send. All right, so that is return. So you want to go to return, and you want to grab the send like that. So they're plumbed in. All right, so now this should circulate. We'll see if it does. The valve is open, so that's going to let the oil go all the way around in a circle, and should hopefully not hit the threshold to make the trailer go up, or the trailer go up, the dump body. All right, so this should be circulating oil and not building pressure. All right, so it's circulating the oil. It's not building any pressure because the oil can freely circulate. So it never stops, so it can't build pressure. And now we should be building up pressure. I think, what were we at before? Let's see. I have to change the threshold, though. Let's open it up. So we're at 12.47. And we're at 8. Perfect. All right, so we get a differential. We go to 12.4, and we go to 8. So what we'll do here, and again, I have to redo this all in the parts, but so this is going to be 12. So if that's greater than 12, we'll spawn this. Okay. How are you already above 12? Literally. It has to be plugged in. Let's see, hydraulic send. Alright, let's get this is a mess here. Hydraulic return needs to go to return. Send needs to go to send. Alright, now that should have a place to send it now. Alright, so now that's going to drop. Okay, good. So now we want to close the valve. All right, close the valve. All right, so we'll power it up. All right, so now with the valve, is the valve open or closed? Let's see. The valve is open. It's closed. Okay, let's open the valve. So now this should not raise the trailer when I rev up. If I set the numbers right. Because the oil should be able to circulate. It should be able to come from the pump and the sump through to the cylinder and back. And because it's in a loop, we're going to be at a lower pressure than when I close the valve. So now we're at 8.76. 8.76 is not going to raise the trailer. As soon as we go above 12, which should happen when I close the valve, there's 12. It's going to start to raise the trailer here in a second. Remember, it has that up-down counter, so we're going to wait for that. Theoretically. There we go. It builds up pressure, and it pushes up the trailer. Okay, good. Now I want to lower the trailer, so I need to dump pressure by... So now what it's doing is it's pumping oil as hard as it can in here, but the oil can't go back. That's what happens when you close the valve in the hydraulic cylinder. If you remember when we were talking the cylinder itself, why won't you just switch view? Okay. What it's doing now is the hydraulic pump is pushing oil into the back of the cylinder. It can't go anywhere else. And so what happens is this goes, and this valve is letting the oil in. Then what happens is when we open the valve, it's letting the oil, some of this oil come out of here. So like say you drew a line from the pump, that's the pump. So to pump it in, the pump goes like this, and it pumps oil in here, and it keeps the cylinder up. But what we're doing when we're opening the valve is we're now opening the valve, and so some of that pressure goes into the cylinder. Some of that pressure goes back to the sump. And so it circulates it now, and so that's not enough pressure to keep the cylinder up. So that's how it works at IRL. That's how I got it working now in game. It just... I was hoping I could do it one way, but I can't. I have to do it two-way like you would in real life. The reason why I wanted to do it differently than IRL is just to save space. But got it working. So now if I open the valve again, the trailer should drop in pressure. And once it drops in pressure, the up-down counter will start to lower it. So give it a second. It's got a lag time as it figures out what it's doing. Okay. Boom. All right, good. So now that is working. Again, we're pumping still. Close the valve. So what you're going to want to do when you want to dump your trailer for the multiplayer guys is you get in there, you rev up the tractor, you close the valve. Now, the reason I like this system is it's... Oh, we'll see you later, Rasmus. Reason I like this system... How's it going there, Mandarin guy? Reason I like this system is as complex as it necessarily seems, it's actually ultra simple. And this is how things like bobcats and excavators and all those work is... they have a sump tank on their body. I'll bring up diagram again. I'll start fresh here. You know, so taking some of these things from real life, if we can rebuild them in the game, that's kind of my favorite thing to do. And it's like, I understand when people like, there's nothing that interests them in the pressure update. These are the kind of things that really interest me. So, like, let's say you have a bobcat, right? So, bobcat. All right. You know, there's your bobcat. Okay, so you have a bucket on your bobcat. All right, and so underneath here you have a hydraulic cylinder, right? Hydraulic cylinder will push the arms up. Okay, so what happens is you have your motor in the back and it turns a hydraulic pump. Okay, and there is a sump tank. Sump tank's just full of oil. Okay, sump tank's full of oil. And so what happens is there's a hose that goes into the tank, goes into the pump. All right, it comes back through here, and it goes out to the far end connector of the hydraulic piston. Then what happens is, you have a valve on. So your joysticks, or in the case of Bobcat, use your foot pedals. They're your valves. So the hose actually goes from here down to your pedals, and then it goes from the pedals out to the piston. And so as you actuate the pedal, you're letting oil in or out. And then what happens is you have another valve over here on the end of the hydraulic cylinder that will go back into the system. So there's a bunch of valves. So you have a valve off this. So as you actuate that valve, which is on your pedals, it is letting the oil either come in this end, which causes the arms to retract. These are powered down systems. So this allows you to power the bucket down. So for example, in a Bobcat, you can push the arms or the bucket down and you can lift the front of the Bobcat. This is also what allows you to do things with, like, say, an excavator to put power down to dig a hole. So you bring the oil, you send it this way. And then there's another valve here where, for example, let's say I want to push oil in this side, right, to push the arms down. Well, I need to also let the oil return from this line and go back into the sump. And so this is the same type of system you have IRL. Now, like I was saying with the trailers, when you're using a trailer, right, essentially you have a big mass on top, right? So this is all the weight of the dump body plus whatever's in there. So let's say it's iron. So there's a lot of mass sitting on this piston. So with a trailer system, what you need is you need your sump, you need your pump, right? And what you do is you send from the pump to this valve, all right? And then you have a return line going to the sump there. So what happens is you turn on your motor turns, right, this direction. It brings the oil in, it sends it out. This valve is now closed on this end, so that's closed. The oil comes out, it goes into the piston, and it pushes the piston up, okay? That raises the trailer. Now, what you're doing in a lot of dump trailers is you can't power a lot of dump trailers down their gravity because they have a lot of mass sitting on top of them. They don't need to be able to have another valve up top. What they do is now what you do is you close the valve here and you open the valve here, and now the mass pushes the oil back out this way, through here, down here, and back to the sump. And so that's the system we're running with. You know, I was hoping we could push in the same line, but we can't do that in game. We can't push in the same line. So that's why I ended up having to do a dual line system, but it worked, so. All right, and now when you want to drop this, you just let that oil return to the sump. So we're letting the oil head back to the tank that is in the power unit. And there it goes. So now the oil can go back to the power unit. Okay, good. So we got that set up. Let me quickly check my numbers here. This is a big pain in the ass that I have this together now. But what I'll do here is let's fix the independent units. And I think I'll jump off. So let's save this. This is, let's see, dump test. And I'll delete dump test after. All right, so dump test. I need to check my components here. So this is, that's going to be 12. Okay. So I need to fix what I changed here. But this is just like, I know it seems complicated, but it's actually a super simple way that I don't need to have a bunch of electronics or microcontrollers. I need no microcontrollers at all. I'm literally using one valve, and it does all the work for me, which is cool. I like that. All right, this is plumbed in. That was the only change that needed was the 12 number. So this can be saved. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to grab this power unit, and I want to put these in. And I'm going to change the order of how these plug in. That will make it easier. Okay. Let's grab the power unit. And those should hopefully slot right in unless I move the power unit. I did move the power unit by... Nope, I didn't. All right, perfect. They're right where they belong. All right, now I was trying to get too cute here. This one here was going... let's switch this. I can't switch completely. So let's see. That's the return. That's the send. All right, so the send should go here. The return should go there. And this is going to be storage send, storage return. And so what you're going to do is you're always going to grab the storage node. So this is, so like when you want to plug your light cord in, if you look, the light cord is actually, the info is going to here. Okay. What do we got here? Let me look real quick. Okay, so like if you look here, the info is actually going to this light cord. So this is the light cord that is actually called light cord. This one is called storage. So you would grab your light cord. Now, it's easy on this side because they're color-coded. One's blues, one red. These both are red. So you want to grab your storage one, the guys who are going to do multiplier. So you grab your storage because that's where it's stored. It's not connected to anything. It's stored there. This was where it... So it needs to stay plugged in here. So you go grab your storage, and then you plug it into the trailer. Same thing on this side. You grab the storage, you plug it into the trailer. So... All right, good. So we're actually plugged in here. I didn't get that far away, so we're good. But this is kind of cool. I like this. This actually runs the way it should. And so, like, I was going to add it to TTIS. I think that would have been a mistake. I think this is the best way to do it. By doing it this way, it really makes it pretty simple. All you need is an impeller driven by the engine and a sump tank, and then 2 hydraulic nodes. And so anything I want to run, any of my hydraulic dump trailers, I just need to add this simple system to my trucks. And all you have to do is you rev up the truck. And if you rev up the truck and close the valve, it raises the trailer. If you open the valve, it lowers it. That's it. And so it makes it really simple. So we'll save that. But yeah, so I think that'll be cool. That's the best way. It's super mechanical. And then there are certain, for example, you do have certain trailer applications that will have that other system that I made, the electric system. And that's going to be like, say you have a tiny little trailer pulled by a pickup truck. You can have that system on. If you want to have the button on the trailer, like some trailers really do, you push the button, trailer goes up. If you want to put it in the cab, all you have to do is send through the light cord a signal to raise the trailer. This system here is all mechanical. You rev your engine, which gives you enough pump pressure, and you close the valve. Bingo, it goes. So. Now, we'll see you later there, Alistair. All right, let me catch up here. Let's see. Remember that we had about sinking and doors in the sides. I I think it should, but I think more air escapes in the sides. I haven't played with it too much. Let's go do this quickly for Timothy, and then we'll jump off. So here, I'll show him. I said hi to Mandarin guy. Yep, I did. Oh, there's Citrus. All right, so let's quickly grab some of the sinking things here. So let's see. This is ship sink test, no sinker 2000. All right, so let's. So I think this was the compromise the devs made. Shit, I should have saved this. All right, so here, let's do 2 doors. Okay. Let's do hatches. Hatches would be easier. Let's do sliding hatches so I can manually work. Actually, I want to do electric so I can trigger them. All right, let's go like this. All right, so I think this is the compromise. What the devs finally decided they were going to do with this is, and I actually kind of think it's a pretty reasonable way to do it, is what they're doing is, let's see, where am I in the frickin' center? Where's the center? Right here. I'm in the center. Okay. So, one of the reasons why they changed all this, like, the sinking ship community, it didn't make any sense to them. Like, why did they change this? They you kept seeing post after post after post, people like, they broke something that wasn't, that didn't need to be broken, or, they put in something that, they didn't need to. The problem is they don't understand that some people wanted moon pools. Like, literally, if you, like, week after week, people, like, we want this so we can build moon pools. We want this so we can build moon pools. So there was a big part of the community who wanted something so they could build moon pools. And there was another big part of the community who liked to just open up doors and sink their ships. And neither community was wrong. Nobody's playing the game wrong. They're just playing the game differently. And so to the community that wanted moon pools, that was important to them, to have moon pools. And to the community who wanted sinking ships, that's important to them, to have sinking ships. And so the problem was, and I talked about there were a number of issues. For example, if I did some tests the other day, Timothy, if you watch that, I can't remember which live stream it was. I actually made, I'll do it, Timothy. I don't mind hanging on and doing some stuff. All right, so let's open the doors. So the reason the devs did what they did, there's a number. There's actually like 10 different reasons, but we'll talk about some of them. So the reason why they did this was they explicitly said before the pressurization update, you can check the updates logs, they talk about how they're doing this because they want to make it so you can have moon pools. There's a door on the bottom. There's a door on the top. Okay. Now, in order to make this work and not make it so that you have to have a degree in engineering or like study this, remember, they're trying to make this game so that an 8-year-old could come and play and that somebody who has an engineering degree can come and play and both enjoy. Now, if it was a game just made for engineers, it would be super technical. You would never be able to play it if you didn't have any sort of background in that, and it would make the game too hard. So the devs have to care about balance. And so this, in real life, this should sink. Now, we're probably actually sinking. Now, we're right at the water. We may sink because we're actually at the water line. But, so this, theoretically, should not sink in-game. If you look here, we're at 1.066. We are gaining a little bit of water here. We'll see if we sink. The problem is we're at the water line. So likely if we sink, it's because we're at the water line. So let's actually fix this so that this doesn't cause a bad test. Because this very well could not sink because, I have the ship set where this is at the water line. So let's do this. All right, so I'm going to just leave this like it is. And then let's grab some of the stuff here. Cut that. All right, so I want to make this test so that it makes sense and that it doesn't cheat in any way. All right, so now if you look, we have... All right, this is raised up off the ground so that the water line, the water can't go in the top. If you notice, it looked like the water was trying to get in. That's not going to give us a fair test. So let's spawn this like this. So I think what the devs finally decided to do, which I think is a reasonable idea, is if the doors are on the top and the bottom, it does not sink. Now, IRL, when you do this, when you open up a top door and a bottom door, of course it's going to sink, right? Why won't my guy jump to like 2 inches he needs to go? All right, of course this would sink in real life. the water would come up into the volume. It would push the air out here. The air exits. The water comes in. Steel weighs more than is more dense than water. It sinks. Period. Okay. Now, the blocks in game are not steel. They're more like styrofoam. But that plays into it. That's why we have more buoyancy in these blocks. So right here, of course, in real life, the air should be escaping out of this hatch, and we should sink. Now, in game, as you can see, the air pressure builds up. Let's check the water. Water's still going. They may have actually completely fixed this where it sinks normally. They may have done it, man. They may have completely fixed it. We're still banging on water. Yeah, this is going to sink 100%. Look, see, atmosphere is going down. The air is coming out. All right, so let's do this test independently. So what we'll do here is I will go... I don't care about the actual sinking yet, so I don't need the timer. So let's do this. Let's go... This toggle will control this door. This toggle will control this door. All right, let's just do it real simple. Because it looks like they completely got the sinking working in all accounts. All right, so what we want to do is I want a moon pool. All right, so the basic logic of how does a moon pool work? All right, air is marbles. All right, so this room here is full of marbles. The marbles are not touching each other. They're bouncing around the room. Okay, and so the marbles of the water are touching each other. Okay, and the air pressure is pushing down in the water. So at sea level, the water pressure is about 1 atmosphere, you know, give or take. So as we open this door, right, the water is going to try to come in, but the water can't come in too far because what's going to happen is as the water comes in, we've got marbles coming in. We also have marbles pushing against the air, right? So the water pushes against the air, causing the pressure to rise. Okay, now eventually the air pressure is going to go to such a high level that it's going to make it so that the water pressure is not enough to overcome the air pressure. So let's like talking fake numbers here. So if the water pressure is 1 atmosphere, and let's say at 2 atmospheres, it can't push the water can't come in anymore. The air pressure is too high to let the water in. As long as the air pressure is greater than the water pressure, it will not let the water come in appreciably. Okay, so let's see if we have right here, liquid meter. All right, so that's how this should work. Now, it will work like this in game. I'm not going to wait all day to do it, but the air has no place to go, okay? The air has no place to go because we're sealed except for the bottom. Now, a little bit of air would probably escape out and go out. So, like, let's watch the barometer. See, we're up at 1.1 atmosphere. We're at a pretty high atmosphere. When I had the top door open, if you remember, we were at 1.05. So we're already at a higher atmosphere because the door on the top is closed. All right, now we are taking in water. We're taking in quite a bit of water. We just can't see it. Now, why? Why the hell did the devs do this? Like, people keep making fun of the devs for this. Like, look, there's no water in here. There is water in here. You just can't see it. And that was a development choice. That was a design choice. Whether it's right or wrong is irrelevant, frankly. But I actually kind of agree with it to a certain extent because this is the thing, right? The community said, hey, I want moon pools, right? Now, a moon pool, right? There shouldn't be like 3 feet of water in here, right? If you want a moon pool, it shouldn't flood your whole ship. This is a moon pool, right? Moon pool stays right there. You can jump in. Hey, swim, swim, swim. You can come back up through your moon pool. You can put an ROV through there. You can do all that fun shit, okay? That's the whole point of a moon pool. Now, why can you have 30,000 liters of water in this room and it looks like there's no water in this room? Pretty simple. Because the point of this is to have a gameplay element, a moon pool. Your ship should not look like it's taken on 3 feet of water if you're going to have a moon pool. So I think that's what they did, was they changed the threshold so the water doesn't show in here until you get a lot of water in there. That would make sense to me. Okay, now let's make a quick prediction and we'll see what happens. So here's the barometer. We're at 1.1095. All right, now there's the water. We're kind of, if you look, notice we're kind of in stasis. The water goes in a little, the water goes out a little, but for the most part, we're not taking on huge quantities of water. Now, IRL and what should happen in game is when we open this hatch, the air is going to escape. So we expect the air pressure inside to go down, air to escape, allowing the water in. So let's open that hatch. Air pressure is going down as expected, right? So predicted the air pressure would go down if we open the top hatch. It is. That should make the water more readily come in. Let's see if it does. Now, likely, because it's a game, there's a hard threshold where above this pressure, no water will come in, or it'll slow the water rate down. Let's put it that way. I won't say it's a hard stop, but, you know, if the air pressure inside is above this number, the water comes in slowly. If it goes below this differential, the water comes in quickly. So if you notice, we're still losing air. Air is coming out of the top hatch, and we're gaining water here. You can see the water's going up. We're gaining. So likely, if we keep losing air pressure, we're likely going to sink. Now, I'm not going to sit here the whole time and wait. You know, I'm trying to get off here. I don't want to spend 20 minutes. So let's talk about side doors. And I think this is what the devs did. Again, this is what I think. I have no evidence of this. I'm not going to bother screwing around and getting evidence of this because I don't give a shit about sinking ships. But so what we're going to do here is I'm going to throw in some side doors. Now, a side door is not a moon pool, right? What did the community ask for? The community asked for moon pools. Moon pool is a hole in the bottom of the ship that allows you to jump out and swim. It also allows you to drop an ROV in. And as long as you maintain the pressure in the room or you pressurize the room. Let's say I pumped air in my moon pool room, right? Let's say I have a room in my ship. There's a moon pool on the floor, and I increase the air pressure to 2. Remember, we can, as our character, can survive to 4 atmospheres, all right? As long as you go up to, you're less than 4 atmospheres, your character will not take damage. So now imagine that there is a room, and the room has a hole, door in the floor, and it doesn't even need to have a door on the floor. It could have a hole in the floor. And you pump in 2 atmospheres of air into that room. Now, that 2 atmospheres of air is going to keep the water out, okay? So now, this is what I think the devs did. Again, no evidence this is my thought. But, so a moon pool, IRL and in-game, should be on the bottom of the ship, right? You want to go down into the moon pool. Now, what I think they did was make it so that if it's on the sides, it lets the water in more quickly. That way, that's a concession so that if you want to sink ships, you put your doors on the side. You want to not sink ships, put your doors on the bottom. All right. All right, so those 2 are open. Let's see what this is doing. Now, I tested this a couple weeks ago. Did they change something that I don't know about to make me look like a fool? We'll see. All right. So let's see what the water's doing. So, last time I checked, this water was coming in like a son of a bitch. We'll see if it still does it. All right, we're at 20,000. Pressure's still coming up. We'll see what happens. Now, we may still need that top door. I don't know. I haven't done much testing with this recently. Last test I did had a top door, I believe, and side doors. We'll see if this sinks. This one, is this one open? Shit, I did not mean to open this door. I thought I didn't, but I did. Okay. So let's see what it's doing. We'll check the numbers here. Let me start over again. I meant not to shut that, to open this door. How did this open? There's literally no connection here. Why did that hatch open? Is infinite electricity not on? Let me check that. Infinite electricity's on. Why did that door open? Who opened that door? Ugh. I don't know why this door is open. You can see it's not connected. But this door opened up, so I don't know what the deal is. Oh, you know what it is? I wonder if it's just visual. Let me look. Could be visual. Let's go in there. All right, let me open. Okay, it didn't open. It was just the water sitting in the hole. We're all right. All right, so let's open up side doors. So I think if you do side doors, you should be able to sink your ship more readily. That was the last test I did maybe a week ago at this point. I can't remember when I did it. But again, you see the air pressure is building, which we expect, right? The air has no place to go. All right, so the air is fighting the water, right? Pretty simple concept, right? If we bring paint back up for a sec. You get paint set up. It's going to take a second to run this test, so get paint set up. All right, so here's our section here. All right, so what I want to do is, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this here. Let's do a background. So real simple. We'll make a make a rectangle that is the hull of our ship. Okay. And then what? Let's actually do this. Let's go. So let's go. I'm gonna kind of expand on this a little bit. All right. So this is Jesus Christ. All right. There is the sky. And here is the water. All right, sky, water, pretty simple there. Let's go up a layer. All right, I want my ship now. So let's go, I think of the best way to do this here. Let's stay on the background layer. Let's go like this. That's helpful. And let's go. All right, there's my ship. Okay, and then I should be able to... All right, ship's empty, right? Ship has air in it. All right. So now what we're going to do is, at this point here, the ship has just air in it. Let's go ahead and... I'm trying to think. I want to kind of make this a little elegant. Okay, so layer 2. Let's merge these. All right, those are merged. All right, good. I'll make another layer. This is going to go above that layer. Okay, good. So now I kind of figure out what I want. All right. So the way this would work in real life is you would go ahead and we'll grab a rectangle filled. And so we don't want a solid color. So let's say 5%. So, you know, the concept a lot of people get wrong is air is something. Air is not nothing. All right. Air is not a vacuum. Air is a something. And so let's see what layer we want to be on. I want to be on layer 2. Okay, so now I should be able to drag in this layer. We're going to invert it. All right, and so let's go ahead and I'm going to put this layer in. I screwed it up. There we go. Let's flip it. All right, so here we go. This is now full of air. So if we zoom in on the air, you can see 5% of the air are these little marbles, right? Air is something. Air is not nothing. So there's marbles in there, okay? And so what's going to happen here is that air is at a pressure. It's going to be at 1 atmosphere, right? So it's meets with the outside. It's at 1 atmosphere. Okay. So what's going to happen is as we push water in here, okay, as the water comes in, which I'm going to make a little cool little thing with this. All right, so now water is going to be solid color. It is this bleu here. And I'm just going to go like this. All right. So what's going to happen here is as I change my water level, what's going to happen to the air, right? As the water rises inside the ship, it's going to push the marbles together, okay? As it, right? So that's standard, right? No water in your ship. As water comes in the ship, those marbles are going to get closer and closer and closer and closer together. And that's what pressure is you have all these marbles. If we went in here and we counted every one of these blue dots, if I go in here and I make the amount of space with air 50%, we've doubled the number of the blue dots in this volume, right? Let's say we had 1,000 blue dots. Well, now because we're taking up half the space, we now have 1,000 blue dots in this amount of space. So we've doubled the number of dots in this amount of space, right? So when there's no water in here, the bottom has 500 blue dots and the top has 500 blue dots. As we raise the water level, now all 1,000 blue dots are in this top half. If we cut it in half again, now we have 1,000 blue dots still in this area. So as we decrease the volume, we're increasing the pressure because the air is not going anywhere. All right, that's the basics of like why a ship will or will not sink. So at some point, if the air pressure is pushing down 1 atmosphere on the water and the air pressure in here is 1 atmosphere, eventually we're going to get to a point where the water comes in and it stops. And that's because all these little blue dots have no place to go. They're going to compress together. That's what compression is, right? They're getting closer together. They're compressing. And they're springing back. They're trying to push back out. And so what they're doing is as they push back out, think of it like a rubber band, right? Or a rubber ball. You're trying to crush the rubber ball with your hand. The harder you push, the more it's pushing back. And eventually you're going to get to the point where the air pressure inside is going to probably make it like this. So the water cannot fill anymore. All right, so if you, so now if you put a hole in the top, so let's say we make a path for this air to go out, okay? So let's go on layer 2. Let's cut a hole in here. All right, so we're going to put a hole in our ship, all right? Now the air has a place to escape, all right? So now what we're going to do is as the water level, if I can grab it here. All right, so now as the water level rises, right, the air has a place to go, all right? Now, if the boat was made out of styrofoam, right, this is where we're going to settle. Because the boat is made out of styrofoam and styrofoam is less dense than water, the water is going to go up to its natural equilibrium point, right? The air can escape, air can come in, and air can go out. So we're going to reach natural equilibrium. The boat's going to sit like this because the boat is made out of styrofoam. But the boat's not made out of styrofoam. The boat is made out of steel. And so the thing is, the boat is going to keep sinking. The steel is more dense than water. So when we take on this much water, the boat is going to go further down, right? The steel is going to sink further, and the water level is going to keep coming up. Now, relatively, the boat is going to sink with it, so this water level will always stay here. And so the whole unit would sink to the point where it's down here. So that's how that's what we would need for sinking IRL. And so, as you can see here, we're sinking pretty well. Let's look where we're at here. So this here has the hatch closed on the top. All right. Now look at the water. Now let's make a prediction, right? Same prediction I made, right? As the water comes in, it should compress that gas. All right. So let's read the barometer, and we expect the barometer to be relatively high as the water has come in and it's pushed the air against the ceiling. 1.37, the highest value I've seen so far. All right. So the air is in here. Now notice the pressure is still going up. That is telling me that likely water is still coming in. Okay. I cannot jump, and it's pissing me off. Jump, jump, jump. I'm trying to read this number without having to no clip. Come on, you scumbag. Jump. He's swimming, and then he doesn't want to get up. He doesn't want to jump. Okay, there he goes. All right, so if we look at the meter here, we're at 99,000 liters of water. Okay. Now, I could keep running this test to see if this will eventually sink on its own. So we'll do a little if statement here. If the, let's see if I have it here. I might have a gas reader out here. Let's check the gas. Okay, it's already on the bottom. All right, so the reason this is on the bottom, even though there's still air in here, is there is enough mass to the water, right? And the steel, so for a given volume of steel, right? Let's say you have 10 tons of steel. You need a certain volume of air to be able to float that 10 tons of steel. So at this point, we have so much water in our hull that the amount of air required to float the steel is not enough because the water volume is displacing itself, and now the steel is heavy enough that there's not enough air in here to float that steel, essentially, to displace the steel. All right, so we're sunk now. So as you can see, this does work. We can sink now. So I did not trigger the timer, so I didn't get a time on that. So sinking ships work now. Let's quickly grab it back. Let's do this. Let's see if we can get a faster rate. I didn't time it. I should have timed it. Let's do this. Let's set up the timer. Here, I'll do 2 examples. I should be able to run them reasonably quick. All right. So this one here is going to trigger the side doors, the top door. All right. And then this is also going to trigger the timer. Okay. So let's spawn this one in. And I put the top door up here, so there's something with the game that, like, if the water is at the water level, it will think that you should be getting water in. That's why I made sure I raised it above the water level. So again, sinking ships works. You can see it just worked. Let's open the doors. The timer should be ticking. We'll check it. Now let's see what the value says. So we're ticking. All right, we're ticking 7 seconds in. Let's go over here. Let's grab the autosave. I want the autosave. Give me the autosave. There's the autosave. Okay. On this one here, what we'll do is we will disconnect the top door. Again, this would be the test, no top door. And we'll run it. So I would recommend do a system like this. If it's useful to people, I'll put this on the workshop. And you can do your own testing to see what's the most effective way to sync for you. But again, this is why I think the devs did it. The devs did this so that the sinking ship community could sink ships, that the moon pool community could have moon pools, that the submarine community could effectively pump water in their submarines to sink them, pump water out of their submarines to not turn on player damage. Why? Shouldn't do anything. Again, the pressure is not greater than 4. I shouldn't die. So that's, I have it off so that I can go underwater. But all right, so these two tests are running. If I go on the workbench, these will be paused. If I go out, you can see this one's headed to Davy Jones' locker already. That one's on its way south already. Now, again, one thing a lot of people are not considering is they built their ships out of styrofoam, and they're not weighting them enough. And because they're not weighting their ships enough, they're also not... it's like, you know, you take a piece of styrofoam and you punch a hole in it. I showed people before when I was talking about this, Timothy, Boston whaler cut in half. So this was a famous thing that Boston whaler, manufacturer of boats, used to do, is they would cut their boats in half. To show people how... See, we just lost that boat. It sunk. All right, so here are some Boston whalers. They used to do this to show that their boats were unsinkable. And if you notice, the Boston whaler has a fiberglass hull. They cut it in half. It's full of styrofoam. And so a Boston whaler will not sink. Here's another one cut in half. Here's one cut in 3 pieces. There's another whaler cut in half. And so the whole thing and why they did this was they had an unsinkable boat. It was for marketing reasons and for safety. And you notice they can cut the boat in half and it does not sink because it's full of styrofoam. And so you got to consider that with the boats in game. Can you sink a Boston whaler? Of course you can. You take this Boston whaler and you put 10,000 pounds of steel on top of it, and guess where that Boston whaler is going? Right to the bottom. Because the air that is trapped in the styrofoam cannot displace 10,000 pounds of steel. Can't do it. Or what did I say, 10 tons? I don't know, whatever I said. 10,000 pounds of steel. Can't do it. But can it take this dude and a little bit of crap on the deck and the motor? Yeah, it can displace that. So you still want to worry about ballasting your vehicle. If you want it to sink, make sure it's heavy enough too, because the hull has buoyancy like styrofoam. And so the hull itself could keep a boat up as well. So you got to keep that in mind. But that one's sunk. Let's do a quick check. Let's see. 65 seconds to sink that one. So again, I'm, perfectly, let's check this one. This one had no top door. This one took 113 seconds. All right, so that one with a top door letting the air out took not quite half the time. So it's 65 versus 113. Those are the two tests. All right, so let's run them again and check the consistency of the results. That's the wrong button. Did I hit this button? Right, that's that one going. So again, this one had the top hatch open, 65. That one should have the top hatch closed, I believe. Let me look. Yep, top hatch is closed, only the side hatches. This one will open the top hatch, letting the air out more quickly. So again, we're getting pretty predictable results here. And that's kind of the nice thing, is once you get predictable results, you can design your ship however you want, if you want it to sink. The fundamentals make sense. They are gamified. They should be gamified. They have to be gamified. But I think we've reached a balance. So much of this has been balancing. A lot of people didn't realize that, I think, when they were getting pissed at the devs is if they take away, if they bring back the ability to sink ships too easily, it makes it so that moon pools don't work. it also makes it, for those of us who don't want our boats to sink all the time, it makes it a pain in the ass. So they have to have a balance where it takes some time to sink a ship, where you have to design it in a certain way to sink the ship. And that allows you to also design it in a way that it doesn't sink. And so it allows different types of gameplay for different people. Like for a lot of people, like the people who only give a shit about sinking ship survival, of course they don't care about going out and doing rescues because they never do rescues. And so it doesn't matter to them if they open a hatch, jump out to go rescue a person, and their ship instantly sinks. That sucks. That ruins the fun of people trying to do rescues. For example, like when I was doing my little lifeboat, I need to be able to open the hatch, grab a person, put them in a seat, and close the hatch, and let it pump out before the boat sinks. You know, that would suck to me if it would sink instantly. So that's a gamification. So when people are like, oh, it's stupid, it should sink almost instantly when you open a hatch on the top and the bottom, they're not understanding that they would ruin a lot of rescues because you would have to build your boat perfectly. A lot of boats would never work, and that would completely ruin the fun for a lot of people too. So I think that we're at a reasonable point in balancing here. It's taken a while, but I think we're at a reasonable point. There's a little bit of variability. That could be up to how much the ship is shaking. That is changing it. Like if you turn in the wind, you might get a ship to sink more quickly. Things like that. So this is 106 seconds. That was 75. So this was 113 last time. So it definitely looks to me like having the hatch open, of course, it lets more air out. It lets the water in more quickly because it's letting the pressure differentiate more quickly because the hatch lets the air escape. That is causing it to sink faster. If you don't have that, it's causing it to sink less quickly, which is cool because think of it this way, right? I do not want to sink a ship ever. I'm not interested. I want to do rescues. I want to do survival. But there are situations where I may sink a ship inadvertently, and I want to be able to save that ship. And so let's say I come banging in here and I hit a rock on that island when I'm out in a storm. Okay. And let's say that I damage the bow of my ship. Well, what do? I close all my doors. The water fills the bow of the ship. The bow of the ship starts to sink, but the rest of the ship has enough buoyancy that the ship does not sink to the bottom. Okay, so what do? I go out there with a tugboat, I tow my ship back in, I repair the ship, I pump the water out of my ship, and bingo. Now I'm able to recover my ship. And then if you want to just sink your ship, you can do it. Open up the doors, bingo, flood, bottom, Davy Jones locker. So I think they've reached a pretty good balancing point where, you know, some people may not have as much fun as they would like because the ship doesn't sink in 4 seconds. They have to wait 106 seconds, oh my god. Or they have to hit it with extra warheads, or they have to open a hatch when they hit it with a warhead. But that allows 10 different people to have 10 different types of gameplay that they want, you know. So it's working. Timothy, I hope that answers your question. I kind of wanted to go through it myself a little bit, but now I'm hoarse. But as you can see, it makes logical sense. These things are logical now. Everything seems like it's in pretty good shape on the sinking ship. I still see people like bitching about sinking ships on, you know, I stay off Reddit now, but on a bunch of the different forums. And I don't think they're running tests. I don't think they, you know, sometimes, I'm not talking about everybody, but some of those people, like you ask them, well, are you venting your gas? You need to do that? Yeah. You need to vent your gas. And it makes sense. Again, they could be 8 years old. They may have never sat in a physics class. They don't know about compression of gases. They don't know about the atmospheric pressure pushing back in the water, keeping the water from coming in. You know, and so that's perfectly reasonable. But I think at this point, things are working pretty well. So, all right. So let's go ahead. I think we'll finish up there. So guys, again, I'm trying to get affiliate on Twitch. I am streaming on both at the same time. I'd appreciate if you guys would watch on there as well. That way I can get my concurrent viewers up. Luckily today, a bunch of people have been kind enough to do that. So I've got 3 concurrent viewers today. I need to get that average up. If you guys have not followed me on Twitch, please consider doing that. I'd appreciate that. I need 8 more followers as part of the drive to get affiliate on that. That just lets more people, they can watch me in different places. If they, for example, if they have some bits on there, they can give them to me if they want. if they have a Prime subscription, they can give that to me if they want. It's up to them. And if they just prefer to watch me on Twitch, they can watch me there as well. So thank you guys. I don't know when we're going to be doing multiplayer. I have a lot of build work to do. A lot of build work to get us ready for that. But so I'm not going to schedule it again probably. I might schedule it. I don't know. Probably not. I'm going to kind of see when stuff's ready. And then we'll do it. But thank you guys for watching. If you are new and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing and head over to the Discord and joining the Discord. Always good to see everybody's builds there and increase the community. If you would like the video, that helps me out. It helps people to find my content. And we'll go ahead and roll the credits. Thank you all the members and subscribers. We'll see you guys later.